production houses. I've done pretty much everything along this journey because I've been a producer, from being a producer to being a DJ to being a radio presenter, then releasing my own music, and then being poached into a radio station where I was being paid by all means. And so any avenue where I could be heard, that I think is God. I will work for, not for the money, but for where I was going. I remember there have been times where I really wanted to quit. I've always wanted to quit. And I have this story I share all the time with myself and Edem. We happened to be around the same time, same people, same place. And I always call him and tell him, Charlie, this one there, I swear, I quit. And then I always find myself doing it again, and he's the first to call me and say, but I thought you said you were quitting, And so it's part of the journey. Now, leadership wasn't something I felt and thought would be important, because for a creative, I want to create. I want to just put things out. But getting closer to God through my church and getting closer to my pastor actually introduced me to leadership. My pastor said something one day, and that lived with me for a very long time. He said, even if you are not leading anybody, you are leading yourself. And that made a lot of sense to me. I'm somebody that likes to understand everything. And so before I do any kind of argument, trust me, I have my facts. And you won't beat me to it. I make sure I know what I'm talking about. So I started really looking into it, and I realized that leadership is not far from us. And as creatives, we realize that even if it's about a position, even if it's about being heard, we always have the power to control the narrative, and that's a form of leadership. If you look at some of the world's greatest painters, poets, musicians, they've sent, look, I found out not too well. I've always known, but I wanted to be sure that when you look at the genocide that happened in Rwanda, that most of it was from radio, and how people, and sadly I see that something similar is happening here, where interest, a lot of people go out there because they're opinion leaders, they say things that they feel and believe is right based on their interest. And so leadership is not so far from us. Your lecturer can be a leader. You yourself, you are a leader when you're amongst your friends. Leadership is not, or leaders are not born, I believe. Leaders are made. When I grew up in a neighborhood called Flamingo, it's a very interesting neighborhood. It's not too far, it's in Ghana, it's not too far from Dansuman, yes. Anybody that knows Flamingo very well, from the 80s and the 90s, know it for armed robbery, some of the killings. It's a very tough neighborhood. And my own dad, and he doesn't mind me sharing, I've asked him already. My own dad has been hooked on crack and cocaine for a very long time. And I've seen my uncles do it. I've seen other friends and people around me. Most of my friends that I started with, maybe some of them are still, but most have been in and out of it. There was something different about me. And it was just a drive to be different. I just didn't like it. I just didn't like being there. And sometimes my auntie would say things like, why do you think that you are different? Why are you not acting like a poor man's you decide you want to lead? That if not for anything at all, I want to lead myself. And so I started by leading myself. And I realized that there's so much power in knowing God, because that actually transforms the way you think, and it gives you awareness. And once you have that kind of awareness, you then are able to define the path properly, because you are no longer leading by your thought and by your mind, because your soul is sold out 100. And when you look at the tripartite nature of a soul, it means your willpower, your emotions, your intellect. It has to be sold, because that informs the information you pick, the friends you make, the places you go to, and even the people you fall in love with. And so when you start, you are rich. Being a leader is one of the most sacrificial things you can think of. Why do I say that? In school, all your friends want to jam, they want to party. And I was that type in high school. In high school, Allah, I can chill. Like, you can't stop me from going to town. At a point in SS2, SS3, I was an event promoter in high school. And in my area, in Selorm Amudzi area, there were no events. And I was an Accra boy. So, and I started very young. So I knew the Chinese and Co from Funworld and Kida Fest. So I would bring them over to our region to host an event, collect gate fee, and still go back to school. I'll do it on Friday, because they won't give you regular exams to be coming home. And so some of us started very early. But in all of this, at dawn, I will wake up to study. And so I didn't allow that excitement, entertainment, the fun where I wanted to be. I remember there was a time they were sacking the whole squad. We were called the Outlaws, and we were being suspended. We had done so much. So we had graduated from being suspended to being dismissed. And during that time, one of the teachers said, Charlie, but this guy, his grades are good. So let's keep him. If not for anything at all, he might be one of the best to be exempted. Otherwise I'm sure I would have joined them. And the rest were sacked. Not to say that I was the best, but I actually always remembered where I was coming from. And whenever you find yourself from a space where it's broken, the foundation is not the best, it means you have to be the foundation. It means you have a role to play. So that's the path I took. And that journey hasn't been so sweet, but it's been gainful, like I said, because you have to sacrifice. You have to wake up at dawn and study. In my house, I didn't think there were a lot of them that tried or attempted to go to the university, but I decided to do it. I also found out later that none of them wanted to do weddings, so I decided to do it. Yeah, anything they didn't do, I decided to do, because I wanted to lead. The last time I was having a conversation with my dad, and he said, you have to be visiting us often, because right now you have to take charge of the house. And that gave me another realization that if not for anything at all, then now I have to be in a right place to be able to take care of the family. Now, expanding it to the country, when we started doing this whole rap thing, it was just rap. It was just fun. Let's just rap. Let's behead and everything. And one of the places I started my career was in this school when Radio Universe was here. Take a Trotsky from that place to Circle, from Circle to one point, and then you walk here to Radio Universe. And all the time when I was doing that, at the back of my head, I have to be better than the guys in my neighborhood. Not to show off, but to be able to carry them along. All the guys that were around me at the time that stood with me are all doing something profitable. Because I'll push you. I do fun things, but I'm really not fun to be with. I would release a song, it's fun, people will dance, but if you're really working with me, you won't enjoy it, because you do the opposite. Sometimes there's money. Big shout outs to Antoine. I was sharing this with Crystal. I went to do Amazing Voices Africa as a talent judge with 7 other. We have to shoot some videos. I said, bro, you lie. We won't shoot video. This money must come back. So when he was returning, think about it, I had to give him all the money. And I knew I was staying longer. So what was I going to feed on? But the money had to go into something. So I asked him to bring it back. Fast forward is something when I look at, I'm proud of. We've been able to create it. We've been able to make it happen. And so it's painful. But when you look at the reason behind why you have to lead or why you are leading, that should bring you joy. And so I'm bringing it back to being creative. Don't just create. Years ago, I joined a group of people to visit Spain and we went for a course. Now, the course is how to use creativity for social change. And that course is called BOEMI, Building Opportunities and Employment, building opportunities and employment through music investigations. And it was how you could use music to cause a change, to change society. And it was through that course that I found out that there are actually human beings who use music for mental people that go on assignments. They are not soldiers. They don't join any form of military. And it's Iris. She goes to Afghanistan or maybe now, and they volunteer to rescue the kids. They take the kids to safe havens and then train them to play music so they can forget about the sound of the bombs and all the guns. They suffer trauma after the war. And when I went through that course, I passed the first one. I was supposed to go to Italy for the second one. It was on the final day, I was taking a walk with her. She held my hands and she calls me Nana. She calls me Nana Trig. And she said, Nana, this music for music's sake. Make sure you are touching lives. And promise me that you will start something. So fast forward, I started the Matic Music Club. And we are in about 4 different schools. It's an after-school club where we teach kids how to read and write music and how to understand why they have to understand the music. Have to get into music and what they can use that for. And that taught me so much. Sometimes when I visit them and they are doing set trick, and some of them come to me and say, oh, I've learned how to play the drum, and Sir Theophilus taught me this and that. Even I realized how it was conditioning the teachers who volunteer mentally. They started feeling good. So initially they were charging me. So I was paying them to teach. But then it got to a time where I said, today I don't have money, so we can't go for the class. Oh, no, we are already there. Don't worry. Because they realized that beyond the music, the dance, the drama, they are actually touching lives. Parents will give us testimonies like, thank you so much because my child could not focus on one thing. He was always distracted. But now he's learning to play the piano and he's always by the piano. And what we found out was that now the children who were playing instruments were being better in school with their grades. And so this is a way of touching life. This is a way of leading. One day when they become great, and there are times I have to spend all my money to bring resource people from Europe and America, and maybe 12 teachers, sometimes 8 teachers, to train my teachers. Nobody was paying for that. I was paying for it. And I'll look back at some of my colleagues, and sometimes I will envy them small because I'll be like, Charlie, but these people, they are not doing all of that. Why don't I use my money to, for shelling, But when I look at some of the kids now, one of the kids decided to write an anthem for their school. And so the school's anthem now is by this child. He will look back and say he got this training from school club. And out of the school club, when I joined the National Folklore Board as a board member, we formed the folklore clubs, and so everywhere you go, you must determine to lead. You must determine to be impactful. Everywhere. You don't have to hold back. And I'm happy, like I was doing a disease and I've yes. Because I work with them and I need to understand them. And I found out that they are very outspoken. They will share their mind. They will tell you what it is, what they don't understand. They will ask you. So I understood why most of them quit their job when they started. Because because when I'm paying you, so I decided now I'm making it you volunteer to want to work with us, and then it's an open discussion. Share your thoughts, share your ideas, and I don't lead anything. One of them leads them so that they learn how to lead by themselves. Leadership is a journey that never ends unless you go to the grave. Even when you marry, you have to lead one way or the other. If you're a woman, you will lead your home. If you're a man, you will lead your home, you will lead the family. And so leadership doesn't stop with just one thing. Like some people think, oh, you have to lead if I'm in a position. If I don't have a position, there's no point. I don't need to bother myself. And I found myself now reading about other creative leaders. When I read the story of Yusundo, I was very, very inspired. That he was able to move from just being a musician to taking care of his people and actually becoming a statesman. I was inspired. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, but I am moved when I see things going wrong, especially within my space. So I've been very active with unions like now I'm a member of Musica, of an advocate that actively fought agencies like Gamero and Co. because the right things must be done, and we always hear these people, they are young, they don't know what they are doing, they will give up soon. I remember some of the meetings that we attended, they actually told us that we will be tired. They fought this fight for 30 years, they didn't win, and so we will be tired. Well, eventually we got tired, but but
I would like us to come back to the landscape to when you
yes. I mean, to wrap it up, we were able to get the right things done. At least their licenses were revoked, and until the right thing is done, they were not going to be giving licenses to operate. So to lead, it's also a call. If you find yourself worried where you are anywhere, then you are called to lead in that space. You find yourself in a neighborhood, everything that they do bothers you. If you find yourself bother you, don't just complain, but learn to do something about it. And believe me, God needs you to cause the change. If you want change, you have to be part of the change.
And I hope you're writing questions down, because this is an interactive session. We're going to be on some of the things that our speakers are saying here. So please, as you're smiling and looking at me, the lady at the back, you, very you. Anywho, so we'll come back to the conversation, the Lions.
8, yeah.
Leading with heart, building with vision. What does that mean to you? And what space of mind you are when you're putting especially this book, Lions Aid, together?
Yeah. Well, the Lions Aid, the idea was born in South Africa when I worked there for a while. And I was nearing a certain age. I decided that I will put out my first book when I'm that age. And it had 40. And it had to be my tithe to God. So I didn't want to write about myself. I wanted to write about what I had encountered, what I had learned along my path, and how my relationship with God has taking me through leadership to a certain end. So, and I also realized that in my I can't be like everyone. Why not put my experiences in a book? Also, throughout my life, I see people, very difficult people, and it got to me. I don't. I'm tired. I'm done. I always will hear that. Oh, sir, work with some musicians. In fact, I stayed in a musician's house for 2 years, 2 to 3 years, and he was feeding us and taking us out for shows. I knew that it would be very important for me to share this with others who want to follow that path and probably might think, oh, it's a walk in the park. Is not at all. But it also doesn't scare you because I actually also put in the book my vulnerabilities, my weaknesses, and the challenges that I had, and even my thoughts towards the leader, so that you know that you're not alone. And I put in some lovely letters to the readers. So after every chapter, there's a letter for you. In case you're going through a particular thing, I understand you. I am there, but it's not an excuse. You can go through it. Yeah.
Awesome. Now we're going to get into your journey as a leader, as a creative in leadership, right? You did a lot of music, beautiful songs that people still jam to.
Yeah.
Some of which some of you broke people's hearts with, but okay. And publishing your first book.
Yeah.
I want us to get into that part of you, how you're able to navigate these journeys without breaking. And we still see you here. Now you're on radio.
Yeah.
Let's talk about all of that.
So, to it, because I've gone through so much. People say I don't look like it, but yeah. I started radio even before music. When I was in, today UPSA, right? Yeah, it was IPS. When I was in IPS, I was writing for a magazine called Sparks Magazine. And yeah, my boss was my junior in school. And so it meant that I need to learn humility because the guy was paying me. If you talk too much, and he goes sack me. And this wasn't at a time that you would say life was good. It wasn't easy. I was in Flamingo. Yeah, I was still in Flamingo by then. And I'll pick a recorder, and I always had a bag, a strap bag with my book. We'll go around, interview, and you guys, thank God for technology. We would do the interviews, and I'll come back and transcribe. And I was still in school, but I have to write all down before I break them into stories for the magazine and still study for my exam. How I managed to do that, I don't know, but I was still doing it. And then sometimes in the afternoon, IPS used to have a small runabout in the middle of the school. We sit by it, and I sell my CDs because I still wanted to push my music. So it's just, I had a high survival instinct, which later God transformed it into leadership and maybe wealth creation. Because when you are hooked on survival, you never actually get to make what you have to make. Because survival is just for you to eat and sleep. When you get comfortable with that, you will remain there for a very long time. So I decided that I will not. I will keep pushing myself, because anytime I'm reminded, Charlie, when I look at Flamingo and other guys, Charlie, no, we don't if you go back. It started like that. We don't want to go back. So even me, I was very strategic, even in dating. Oh, yeah. Because you and I cannot be the same. So there's no way I would just...
You're not going to date the people in your area.
No.
So who is going to marry them then?
They'll find.
Just by the way.
I'm sure they'll find their own.
They'll find their own.
Yeah, that was my mindset. That has always been my mindset. I remember, and look, anybody that's big today has a story, because my story is intertwined with that of a few others in the space, and they know. I met Jay Foley in 2000 and no, I met Jay Foley. Actually, met Jay Foley in 2000.
Before YFM.
Oh, YFM came in 2007. I met Jay Foley between 2000. And we met at Hash Hash Studios. At the time, Hip Life was being born. Because Hip Life came in 2004. So Foley was a beat maker. He wasn't a media person, but he was in school then. Look, even at the time, like sometimes I'll be the guy to pick his assignment because he was doing pottery. They use clay to bake pots and all those things. So I'll pick his assignments from Accra and go and present it in Kumasi because he was in tech and take it to Kumasi. There are times I wasn't the guy. I wasn't the guy amongst them. I wasn't the fun guy. Nobody really wanted to mess with me. So, but I wanted to push myself. And I like being around rich kids. So mentally, I had to psych myself because obviously you won't wear the same things they wear. You won't look the same way they look. So, Charlie, the likelihood that people will tease you is high, but I have this face, you can't really tease me, because you can laugh at what I'm wearing. But when I speak, or when I'm dealing with you intellectually, you know that, Charlie, this guy, then, So that's where I'll read anything. Because if not for anything, I have to beat you with information. So that was my strength. Then when I met Foley, he didn't pick my call till 2003. And he picked my call one night and he said, is that you, the rapper? I said, yes. He said, okay, you rap for me. And on the phone, yeah, stop. I was always ready. And that's the thing about readiness and opportunity. I was prepared. So I gave a hot 16 bars because I had plenty. So I just did a hot 16 bars and he said, can you meet me in Nungwa? There's a studio there. Now I had to think about transport. But you see the thing I said about not dating broke people. So the phone was given to me by one of my ex-girlfriends at the time. She was very young, but she had two phones. She gave me one and she gave me transport. And And I was like, well, the story is different now. And I tell you, we met again. But you see, at the time, she sort of liked the fact that I was an upcoming rapper, and we were young. So it's not like these people are old. We were very young. I was very young, and I took myself to the studio only for this guy. And he said, "I want to use you to do intros." I'm like, "What the heck?" I came here to record, not to do intros, but I met artists there, and in my mind, I can get featured. So let me humble myself and stay there and do the intros like that till he realizes that I'm an artist and I can do my own songs. I was doing intros for him. Through that, never the quiet guy. I will carry the songs that wasn't mine and I'll be the one to take it to radio stations. And so they realized that this guy's driving is crazy. Then I forgot about him and went to record my songs elsewhere and took it to the radio station. And at the time, Eminem had just come, and it was for a black guy to sound like Eminem. You sound a bit like Eminem also. I was learning the guy. So I did a song similar to one of his songs. And I think Vibe FM was very vibrant at the time, so Vibe was playing it a lot. So Foley was like, how did you get all that rotation? Now, actually, my first song, I went to meet the DJ. Look, those of you who eat fried rice rough, it was a big deal some time back. It was a big deal. So I gave the radio presenter a box of rice and chicken, and then fries and chicken. So 2 boxes. It's not a joke. And she asked me to be coming to the studio. I was always going to the studio. I was a battle rapper. The only battle I ever lost was in this school. But I was winning almost everybody. The guy didn't pursue music again, sadly. But I lost because he had more people. Not because he had more, because
he was that good.
Yeah, no, not because he was that good,
Okay.
but he was actually a good rapper. And how I even got my radio job was out of passion and a drive to lead. So I was writing for Sparks, but I would also go on sales with them. So in selling the magazine, they had just started Miss Malika. I'll be at the foyer pushing people, oh, Charlie, madam, buy this one. Charlie, this one, I be bad. Oh, wear this book. Eh? Look, this magazine, there's a story on so and so and so. And we had done an exclusive with Morgan Heritage. So like I was telling, and this woman had locks. So you see my foolish mind. I just assumed that locks there, it goes with reggae. So I said, oh, madam, this one is solid. There's Morgan Heritage. I did an interview myself. I wrote it. This is my name. This is my ID. She was like, who are you? And I said, okay, take my card. Well, I don't like reggae, but take my card. And I saw that she was general manager at Vibe FM at the time. So one day from school, I dropped at Vibe, not because I wanted to drop there. So I asked the mate how much it would cost to get to Circle. Give me the price. We had gotten to Nima Junction. And so I asked, and I didn't have that much. So I said, okay, what about Nima Junction? And he said, oh, then it will be up to Nima. I said, I'll drop here. Because walking from there to Circle is not really anything. So I dropped, and I saw that Vibe had moved from their former place to Pyramid House. So I entered. And I had the woman's card. So I'm looking for this woman. And she came out and she said, oh, hi, you came. How are you? I said, I'm fine. He said, you said you've done radio before. Honestly, I don't remember telling her that. But I had to take the opportunity. I said, yes. He said, oh, which station? I said, oh, I've worked with Radio Universe because, yes, I had come there to freestyle a couple of times. So, yeah, it wasn't a lie. It was true. So she said, Jeremy is now graduating. He's graduating tomorrow. So we want you to host her show just for one day, and I took it. I didn't know how to use the console. And at the time, DJ Vision was the technician there. He wasn't even a DJ. And he said he would run me through it. I went back to my area and told everybody that I'm coming on radio tomorrow. So when the phone lines open, that was it. So my second boss was very impressed with the phone ins. And at the time, Vibe was very like bougie. It was like the slangs and everything. So when people were calling me, hey, Trig, yeah, it be me, Pizarro, it be me, So it was like, yeah, you can bring that crowd in. And I think she was thinking numbers and business. So it worked. I later became the co-host for the show for the longest time. And so when Jeremy was leaving to Y, I wasn't called. So I stayed at Vibe until I think they went to push till I started. And even when I started working at Y, I was being paid 250 cedis because I wasn't an on-air presenter. I was supposed to do just the midnight shift. And anybody on radio knows that that's what they give to the useless guys. We call it graveyard shift. It's at dawn. Who listens to radio at dawn? It's either your person is drunk from the club or driving around or something. So I played a graveyard for about a year or two, and I started producing the pre-recorded shows. Doing that, I caught one of my bosses with some girl, and I think he decided to give me an on-air slot.
What?
But I was prepared.
Well, I was going to ask that. Did you not merit that position?
I did, because when they gave me the first slot to do, yes. When they gave me the first slot and I did my first show, it was crazy, and I actually, all the segments on that show, I created them. So, I merited it, but I also caught them.
You can also call that God's miracle, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting story. Are you, ladies and gentlemen, following the conversation? Is it helping? Okay. Now, before we wrap up this entire conversation, this part is so important, especially for those who are looking forward to leading in this space. 1 minute you're working for someone, the other you're looking, if you're that ambitious, you're looking at what point do I become a boss in this media space? At what point did you find your voice, your leadership voice in this creative art space?
You will never find your voice. I think everything and everybody must learn to be decisional, but you have to be wise. The goal is not to become a boss. Like I said, to lead doesn't necessarily mean you are in position or you are making money. But to lead is a call to see change. And I mean, when you look at the life of Moses, he was living well. He was actually in the palace of Pharaoh, living well, well-trained, well-groomed. Leaving that to lead the stubborn Israelites was not anything so gainful. But he was called for that. And I believe that it was in God's making for him. He knew that the Israelites couldn't train him. He needed that training from Egypt, from the king. And so, oftentimes when we find ourselves working with bosses, we shouldn't be so drunk on occupying their space so that we want to kill them, and then because you see, half the time when you are put there, you underperform. You find yourself underperforming. I'm not a big fan of talking down on young people or saying that you cannot do it. No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that when the time comes, you will know it. It will be a smooth transition. It will not be a fight. It will not be a struggle. It will be so smooth. There will be that burning desire to break out. And you will have restless nights. You will feel like, especially when you have grown so much in a place that's not growing, you will feel that urge to want to break out. You want to do your thing. At a point, I felt like I had outgrown Ghana. And that also doesn't always mean that it's the right time. Sometimes it can be some ambition from nowhere. It can also come out of foolishness.
So, at what point do you then know it's the right time?
Like I said, it will come without struggle. It will come without struggle. Trust me, it will come whenever you are transitioning, and it comes with a lot of struggle. You will be found wanting one or the other. When you are working with somebody, you're following somebody, look at the vision of the person. Follow the vision, don't follow the person. For example, if I'm working with you, or some of the people I've worked with, look, I worked with Tiny for the longest time. Tiny. I stayed in his house, I ate his food, I wore his clothes. Now, in person, this guy's a jerk as a human being. But in his role as an artist or a creative, he was a man of excellence. That is what I was following, not the human being. Because, look, Tiny will literally pick, like, his girlfriend, and maybe we're going for a show. And I used to hate that girl, God. And she
now
would...
she knows.
Yeah, she knows. I'm sure she knows. Tiny knows anyway. Yeah. And she will randomly say, ni, si trig, matrig in si. But what did I do? And like, Tiny is a very interesting person, very interesting, very fun to be with. And then like he'll drive for a few minutes now, then he'll park. Yeah, trig, si. And it's not joking, like you will get down. And I was always suffering that. Now, I could have thought that, Charlie, then I won't go to him again. I won't mind him again. I won't move around him again. But this is the same person that will take me backstage. And I used to back him on stage and even some of his songs. He would take me backstage and tell me, this is how we do it. This is where we go. Don't do this. Hold the mic this way. Don't do it. At the time, I was nobody. So that was what I was following. Not the C-Trig. Because in my mind, one day I'll buy my own car and do my own thing. So it was painful. Like, look, I had my friends that were all with him. They left. They all left. Everybody left him. And I stayed. I was the only one that remained. Now, out of that pain, one day I recorded Nobody Knows Tomorrow. And
wait a minute. So
yes.
Before Nobody Knows Tomorrow, you were this person.
Yes.
Okay.
So
okay.
It was out of that pain. Before Nobody Knows Tomorrow, I recorded a song called It Could Have Been You. So then he called me one day and said, "Oh, Trig, oh, shy. Oh, feel like I need dummy. Oh, you see, say the thing they tell you every time, even you do." Now, the reason he was treating me like that was he wanted me to be singing. And I loved rap. And I hated my voice whenever I sang at the time. So he had seen what I had not seen. So he would always tell me, "Charlie, you rap and do your choruses yourself. I'm not asking you not to rap. I just want you to also sing." And I'm like, and at the time we've been told that in hip hop, you don't sing. When you sing, it's like you're weak.
Yeah.
I came from the hip hop era, the boom bap era, not the mumble rap era. So we had hard kicks and everything. So you have to rap. You cannot be singing. And whenever I sang, like he would say, you say you do well. He would do a song with me. I will rap a hot 16 bars, and he will release the song, and my verse is not on the song. And then he will play the song to me, and tell me, you see the guy I feature him. You see the guy they rap wow. This guy they rap bad. And then I'll be quiet. Well, if I talk, they would drop me. So I'll just be quiet. I'm not saying we should endure that. But I'm just saying sometimes look beyond that. Because it's through the same person I got my first break. Because I recorded Nobody Knows Tomorrow with his producer. The guy actually said, "Look, you always come here with Tiny, you never get the chance to record. Tonight, let's record." And that's how I recorded the song. Yeah.
I think it's at this point that we put our hands together for Trig. Interesting stories. In all your submissions, one thing I noticed was you kept bringing up God, and it reminds me of something my mother, Lady Rosemont, tells me all the time. She says, you cannot be anything outside what the Creator has designed you to be. So if you want to be anything that God wants you to be, you have to go back to Him. And He has the original script to your life. And so inquiring of Him, asking Him to guide you to be the person that He has originally designed you to be is the best decision ever. And so congratulations.
Thank you.
On all the amazing things you're going to be doing.
Thank you.
I'm sure I asked us earlier to start writing things down. We're ready to take our questions, and Trig is going to be answering that. Okay, we have a question at the back there. Yes, can we have a microphone? Oh, y'all are ready. Okay, I like this. Please put your hands together for yourselves. Thank you. All right, we'll take our first question.
Hello? I can hear you, yeah.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Fred, and my question to Trig is, what is your motivation? What keeps you going in this leadership journey? Thank you.
Well, thank you. That's a great question. My motivation is you guys. I must be honest, I worry about the next generation. I worry first about my generation because I think I was sharing it with Crystal. When I worked in Southern and Eastern Africa, I noticed that the new crop of CEOs were all in their 30s. And whenever I come to Ghana, most of the CEOs are in their late 50s, early 50s, 60s. You find a few, maybe COOs in their 40s. If you see very successful young people here, because we don't even believe in them, we attribute it to illegal businesses or some shady business. And so that becomes my drive. Like, why was myself and a good friend of mine sitting before a 28-year-old and a 32-year-old, their brothers, and asking them for about 4 million And they told us, oh, they can give us 2 point something. And one brother could give us 1 point something, and the other was going to give us 120,000. And they have it. You see, when somebody is giving you 100,000, it means they have more. And I'm looking at the age and the monies that they were mentioning. Me, at a point when I started working in that market, I felt like people were faking. I felt like some of the meetings, when I go, I don't talk. And my boss will always say, why didn't you say anything? And in my mind, I feel like it's unreal. Like the production I work with, we worked on Showtime with Somizi. We worked on DJ Sinclair's show on BET and a few others. And I met them through Amazing Voices Africa. Sometimes when they are discussing the budget, I feel like it's fake. I feel like they are just giving us some fake hype. But when I started working with them, I realized these monies were actually being churned out. These were actually real figures that people were working with. And in that production, you'll see that the floor manager is like maybe 23, 22. Sound guy is in his 18, 19. You find out the very young people picking up some of the major roles. So I was worried. I was very worried. First of all, even in that competition, the Ghanaian team that came, I could see that timidity. I could see they were not ready. I mean, they didn't even qualify to semifinals to even win. I knew they won't win from the beginning. True. Because when you see the kind of aggression that the other countries came with, you know, you could tell like it's like something had caged them. And so that becomes my inspiration. So whenever I meet people, I feel like, let me push them. You know, I have a cousin. And whenever he says, whoever I've become is through you, I'm like, I beg you, don't make God kill me fast. Because I did nothing. I just will talk to you. Sometimes I can make people take some of the hardest decisions because I was made to take them. And I used to hate whoever was pushing me to take them. But now I see the good in them. It's like hitting the gym. What really motivates you? It could be anything. It could be the fact that there's maybe diabetes or high blood pressure in your family. It could be the fact that you just like to see the guys with guns, you know, so you also want it. It could be you like flat tummy. People go to the gym for, but at the end of the day, the goal is being met. You know, I always say, whilst we are waiting, others are not waiting. You know, so you guys are the reason why I keep going. You know, it's just until recently that I decided to also pay attention to myself small.
I wish we had an opportunity to talk about that, but maybe in another setting, or maybe when the next speaker comes, we talk about taking care of yourself.
Yes, you have to.
I don't know how that's, but hopefully we get to have that conversation. Because I think it's a very important thing.
It is.
And once you start taking care and looking into yourself, you become the best version of yourself. Actually, that's where it starts from. That's where the building and growing begins. So I in another setting, you and I will have that conversation.
Sure.
Any other question, please? Yes, we have one here.
All right, thank you very much. So my name is Ade, Ebenezer Ade. I'm an artist. I'm a student artist as well. I do music. So I must confess, I'm very, very touched by, when you were speaking, I felt myself in you. I don't know if I should. Yes, because I'm also a student artist, and I had the privilege to go to Radio Universe. I had the opportunity for an interview and all that. Yeah. So, fast forward, I'm an artist and I do music, but, with the financial aspects, I go through a lot. So, just to make everything short, what would you tell a student artist like myself? My final year, and then I'll be doing my service very soon. So, I want you to, like myself, people like myself, I want you to leave us whatever you want to tell us. Something, yes, that we can hold on to. Thank you very much.
Okay, all right, sure.
Okay. I'm sure you understand.
Yeah, I understand. Wow. So remember, I said when I was in IPS, I was selling my CDs at the roundabouts. For me, like there was this We had a JCR in IPS that I really liked their pepper and their trophy. I know it has nothing to do with your question, but it was my motivation to sell the CD, Charlie, because if I don't sell, I don't go feature. And the food was so cheap that if you buy more, it can take you through the day. It's very important that you consider finances. These are things they never told us. And so we're always about passion. Passion, passion, passion. But financing is very important. Practically, I would say in your dispensation, there are a lot of available opportunities, such as grants, such as, you have grants, you have to research, please. Don't, even me, even me yesterday, I went on Google and I was looking out for festivals in 2026 to apply. So apply for grants. There are grants for students who are into art. I don't know if you've heard about the global. How am I a student and I don't know? GLI, Global Leaders Institute. It used to be Global Leaders something, but now it's an institute. They offer some of these things. Just do a research on those funding. Local funding, we have just started the African Arts Development Fund. It's not fully grown yet, and so we may not be able to offer monies now. But some of the first people to reach out to is your family. I always say when we're looking for money, we look too far. Unless they don't believe in the music. You know, if they don't believe in the music, then yeah, I can understand. But your family, your friends, I had a friend called Clement. Sorry, thank you. And God bless him. He was one of the few people that I borrowed money from and released my first mixtape, the very unsuccessful one. But he understood. So he wanted me to pay later in bits. Even though nobody knows tomorrow that you guys enjoyed. I have a friend called Henry. We're all in the same school at the time. I asked him to loan us money. He gave us, I think, 30,000. At the time, it had value. Now, dear, it doesn't. But yeah, we shot videos with it. We shot my Jolly video with it and a few other things. And so, the close people to you can help. Learn how to save little money. Because I remember my first video, I contributed like 50% because I had some money with me. The thing is, now you need money. You need money to make it happen. But in case you won't find or you don't have the money, look at the other things you can provide or you can do that will still have the same value. Like I was going to Radio Universe. They had, because at the time they had a freestyle session that you could go on and do. If they still have it, then they are really doing well. Because all of us, myself, Jay Soul, Trigmatic, the rest of the Skillion guys, we all went through Radio Universe. Look out for other shows like that where you can showcase your talent. If you were researching, I'm sure you would have been part of the African Music Business Dialogue because we had a showcase avenue also. So just research some of these things because it takes one person to see you and want to put their money into you. Would you believe me if I told you I've never had a sponsor? I've never had an investor. So don't give up also on diversifying. Please, don't buy the lie that when you are doing other things, it means your art is yawa. Or people are not. That's a Ghanaian lie. Don't buy it. Because when I saw that, Charlie, things will be some way, that's why I got myself working with a magazine. Because they'll pay me. That's why I started working with a radio station, because they'll pay me. You see, with art, art goes with good living. When you have a place to sleep well and you eat well, the songs you produce is different from when you are hungry. See, when you are hungry, all your songs God will do. Every song, it's like every day you are singing some painful thing because you can't separate yourself from your art form. So look at the small ways you can make money. Don't really think, oh, let me, if for example, I've seen how students don't take pleasure in working whilst they are in school. They only do that when they travel. But when they are back home, they don't want to work and be in uni at the same time. But if you can, and even if it's me, I'll go and work with a media house. And I'm glad you're here, it means you're a serious person. Link up with Antoine in the back. MX24. Find some job with MX24. Even if you have to be fixing lights and doing those things, they don't have to pay you. But when you have your first record, these people come in handy, trust me. The first person that shot my music video, I had worked with him as an assistant. The first person that recorded me knew me from Tiny, so I didn't have to pay the session. When they shot the video for me, because I was a media person, I had written and worked in Vibe and all those other people played it out of goodwill. So build relationships, because social capital is also capital. So now you don't have the money, but create relationships. I've met you today. Maybe if you are lucky, I'll give you my number. Antoine is here, like I said. Mimi is here to speak. You meet all the speakers. Don't just take pictures. Create relationships. Call them with relevant issues. I've done my first song. I just want you to listen to it. If you believe it's a banger, don't tell the person that I want you to help me. It's a turn off. I want your opinion on what do you think about this song. And you never know.
Did I sit well?
I hope it helped. You may not get the money right now. I wish I could give you money. I was just telling Crystal that there's no data in Ghana that helps investors to want to put in their money. Data is key. If we had the data, then you would have, for example, Afri-Exim Bank came to Ghana last year. They were looking for a company that had an ROI of $2 million. I told them that they won't find. In music, in arts, they won't find. Unless the people do other things. But they will not find. And then they came back. Again, that meeting was with the NFA. They didn't find. So they had to find other means, like buying IP and all those things. So you know what? I forgot to see your name, sorry. Ade. So you know what? Use this time to create more music. Use this time to prepare. If creating the music now doesn't cost you, then focus on that. So that when you are ready, when the time Antoine says, I've met a record label, they want to hear your stuff, you are ready. You have your catalog. Do you know, till date, I still record and don't release them. Not because I don't feel like it. Because when you release, it takes a lot of money. And because I'm becoming wiser, I don't want to invest when I'm not seeing returns. You understand? So the music industry can be very dicey. Where you want to venture can be very dicey. But I don't want to discourage you because your story might be different from mine. You might have a big break that I may not have. I believe so. So keep doing it, but use this time to prepare. If you don't play an instrument, learn to play an instrument. These are things I wish I knew. Because when I started performing at festivals, I realized I needed that, and I didn't have. Thankfully, I'm a very talented young man, so I have my way around things. But you may not have certain things that I have. But I believe that you will be better than I did. So prepare. Use this time to prepare. Understand IP, understand publishing, understand contracting. You don't have to know it, but even understand how to put your team together. If you don't have the money, you know what you can do? Look for friends who have the database. I'm not saying go and extort. But there's always that one friend where if the song no the be served, they feel them. Make that person your road manager. Get somebody that has money and pitch to them. It's not bad to have a business plan now. Because I registered Matic Multimedia in 2001. At the time I didn't even have a song out. But I felt like this is where I want to go. Let me have a company ready. I thought like when you open company, no, that is it. You are hitting. But that wasn't it. It also doesn't mean it won't go well. Look around. You don't look too far. No bank will loan you money, unfortunately, for that. Unless we have, like in Nigeria, there's Bank of Industries, and they have a creative arts desk. But that was somebody's hard work to make that desk happen. Pray that some of us will get the chance to push for some of these things to happen, so we can allocate funds for the creative arts. But also next month, African Arts Development Fund will be fully active in a few months, a few weeks. You never know, you can get some funding.
So keep that down so that you get ready for the support. You have another question? Should this be our last question? Last question. Okay, right. So this is our last question. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I hope you've enjoyed this session, though. No, the one behind you. Oh.
Okay, so I'm John. Okay. So upon hearing his experiences, I've realized that he's always touching on diversifying. He's not a one-person man. He's always doing this, doing advocacy, media, music, and the rest. So I want to ask, didn't he face any backlash that maybe we too known to do what? So I want to ask him, from the people that he started with, maybe he might have been at a certain pedestal that those he started with are not there due to the path that he chose. So I want to know how he took some criticisms upon getting where he is now. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. I'm still taking criticism.
Yes, music new.
Yeah.
You heard that, right?
Yeah. You need a tough skin.
Yeah.
Mentally, you need to be very strong. Let me be very straightforward. If you are not a church person, be one. I think my strength has been from God. I am a student of the Bible, and so it has been my source of strength. And so I'm not really moved by naysayers and people who don't understand where I'm going. A lot of people say all kinds of things. I remember in 2015 when I decided not to do hard rap any longer. Look, even my closest friends came at me. Like, but you two, Charlie, the way them first you they rap, the way, them, what they have. I still they rap, wow. But I'm very intentional in some of the things I do. It's a long route. If you ask my management, they will tell you, it brings no money. But when it starts paying off, that kind of fulfillment that you will get, you'll be amazed the kind of artists, some of your celebrities, and some of the things they come to me to seek understanding for. And that's because of the lonely nights, the times where nobody was noticing me, the times where I was studying the other side of the industry by myself. It's a very lonely path. So one, lower your expectations. I don't expect applause. I don't. Antoine can tell you, look, there was a time I was supposed to sing the national anthem when Nanado was in power at the Swag Awards. And I was coming from Cape Coast. And there was traffic. And if you know any award ceremony, or not even award ceremony, any ceremony that the president attends, when the president enters, nobody comes in again and nobody goes out. So I had to hurry. And there was traffic, that Kaswa traffic. I'm sure that traffic there's some demon. And quickly, so I took an Okada. Because there's no time to waste. I took an Okada from Kaswa to my house, took my bag, packed my things in my bag, made the Okada guy wait, sat on the Okada again, straight to the banquet hall. But I had to put on a helmet. Even inside the room, I was wearing my helmet. Because you need to sometimes swallow the shame. Especially when it has to do with leading yourself. Otherwise, you will break. Because people will expect so much from you, especially after you've made your first big break. And you need to continue. I've done it for 15 years. It's actually more than 15 years. But when you look at when I released my first album, that will be 15 years. And so I can't let all of that go down the drain because I still want to get to the place in some car, and I need the bike quickly to get, because the 70% was still with them. Let me hurry up, collect the 70, go and sing the national anthem and go home. Who will know that I came in a bike? Nobody. As I speak with you, there's a particular project that I'm doing now. It's something that will bring me peace in a few months.
We'll still be friends by then, right?
Oh, yeah.
We'll still be friends. Just wanted to be sure.
And because I have to put money in it, anything that comes to me, I have to put it there. Now, that it's making me take certain decisions that make me very unpopular. It makes me very unpopular. There are certain shows you won't get because you talk too much. You think you are doing, you know. Promoters like people who don't know. So they can put you on, how much you want to charge, you play your show, you collect your money and go. I can take that route because it will bring me money. But it won't bring me fulfillment. So once I'm working on something, I'm the only one that knows that project is ongoing. In order to make that project move on, I have to do away with so many things. So in doing away with so many things, I'm losing friends. People think I'm up to no good. Nothing is. I don't even go out. So then nobody will see you. My team members sometimes I feel for them. Because sometimes I feel like, Charlie Trigg, you can't be selfish. Like, think about the guys who are also earning a living around you. But we all have to go through it, because when that big break comes, it will come for all of us. So just close your mind. One other thing, lastly, now this will be my last thing. Separate the art from the culture around the arts. So what I mean is that hip-hop as a genre is hip-hop. But the hip-hop culture is what kills us. It's not the music. So, for example, if you're a big star, now I think the new thing, especially with the African artists, is big diamonds, big chains. I see like people have 12, 8, 20, plenty. It's good, it's nice. But that's a culture. It's a culture that feeds an industry. It is not that which makes you the musician you are. It's a culture. You can decide to buy into that culture or not. If you choose not to, you will become quite unpopular. Like, if you look at the price of, let's say you're going to get a Rolls Royce. Hey, please, let me use a different car before you think I'm shading anybody. Let's say a Range Rover. Yeah. But you have the opportunity, you have the opportunity to also do something that will add up to your art form. It is your choice. Nobody stops you. If you buy the Range Rover, you will get fans. See, when you're in traffic and you're driving a good car, it's sweet. Like, you lean back, you roll down. The AC, you see, good cars, the AC blows different. Trust me. When you have money, chop it. I'm not saying don't chop it. But don't chop it when there's something important to do. That's all I'm saying. That will get people talking. When people see you, they'll be like, people, there was a time, I was actually added to the top 10 or top 15 broke people. And it was published. Do I care? No. Did it stop me from doing anything? No. Because at the end of the day, I'm the only one that knows what is available, what I have, what I can do. If I was moving my car here today and it stopped, I would have come in an Uber. Simple. And you will see me waiting for the Uber here to go back. Because does it change me from being Trigg? No. Do I still have awards? Yes. Do I still have songs? Yes. Am I able to do the things I'm supposed to do? Yes. Do I have girls admiring me? Yes.
That's why it's icing on the cake, isn't it? But about that though, I think when our next speaker comes in, I'd ask him about the branding bits because they'll tell you branding. No, someone say branding. No, what's that? brand, because I did, in school, I studied strategic communication.
Okay.
And in that class, I think I did a bit of branding and brand marketing.
Yes.
And my teacher...
that's actually what I studied in
strategic
school.
Communication?
Yeah.
She's my classmate. People respect me. Put some respect on my name. Shay, finally, let's talk about your book. I know time is gone, so we're going to be going through this book quickly.
Okay, sure.
And where we can get it. I think you spoke about what the book was about.
Yes.
So where can we get the Lion's Aid?
So the Lion's Aid, you can find it on my website, www.trigmaticmusic.com. It's there for the copies are there. We have the e-copies and the hard copies. If you want a hard copy, we're also going to sell a few here. Maybe I can be good and decide to dash one to one person.
One lucky person.
Yeah, one lucky person.
Do I think that book should go to Ade? Is that the name? Yeah, Ade.
Yeah, I don't know. Since that you said it, I'll just give it to him. So the book, I personified the lion, and it talks about the strength, the weaknesses, the vulnerabilities of a lion, and how to walk with a lion. And so hence the name Lion's Aid. So the person that works with a lion. And so it's about walking with a leader, a tough leader. Yeah.
Awesome. So if you're in the room this morning, which I see you, and those on television, you can go on his website to grab the book. Also, if you're here, I think I just got Adair to get a book. But more freebies coming up, right here this morning. Or it's afternoon already. We're giving out amazing stuff. So just sign up onto MX24. We're going to give you all the details right now. But Trig, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing yourself with us, being so generous, telling us your story. Me, if I see you, but I tell you that your brand has fallen. But anyway, congratulations on the book. And we know we're going to be seeing more from you, but we're really grateful that you're able to share yourself with us. And to you on air, thank you. You're doing great. Stay interactive. And to you in here, all of you, thank you so much for coming. We're going to move on to our next speaker.
Before I go, I just want to say that go on the website, Trigmaticmusic.com. It will aid you to find out what we've been doing for the past 2 to 3 years. Get the new records as well, the new singles out, Ganayo, and a few others which were produced in South Africa. You can go check those ones out. Be part of the African Music Business Dialogue. Join us on our pages, African Music Business Dialogue, on Instagram and the other platforms. Also, follow me on official Trigmatic all across, or just Google Trigmatic. It will take you to the other platforms. Thankfully, I'm the only Trigmatic. So when you Google anywhere, that's the only one that comes up. I also want to say a big thank you once again for your time. God bless you.
I heard my boss say bars. So with everything for you. Thank you so much, Sheikh, for coming. Well, the conversation continues right here. This is the AM Club Masterclass, the first of its kind. And I keep telling people that AM Club is not just a morning show. It's a movement. Who believes that? We all believe that. Put your hands together for AM Club. And so we have more coming up, more masterclass, more education, because we are going to be the best version of ourselves, especially this year. We told us all we're growing, we're learning and growing together on the show. So stay right here with us. Our next speaker is on. But before we get into that, I think we need to cool down a little bit, right? DJ is going to give us a song, and Trigmatic will take a leave of us. Before you go, you're going to take pictures, right? So we take pictures.
Sure.
You said we should take contacts, but we'll take pictures. Pictures are important.
Nobody knows tomorrow. I can't be living in sorrow. And I'm like, the future, the life is now.
Agyepong and Associates. Let's welcome him. Oh, you can do better until he sits. All right, good morning. Jesse, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Right, it's going to be very brief, but I know that you are a man of few words. Are you?
Is this your way of asking that we do it in 10 minutes or 15 minutes?
No, that's not it.
Okay.
But I'm saying that, listen, when it comes to this conversation of branding, Trig just left, okay?
Yes.
And he was talking about keeping it moderate and simple and living a very simple life.
Yes.
As a creative, so as to live in the ecosystem that we find ourselves. Economically, some people are not just finding it so great. So whatever your budget says, you should do that. Others are saying, fake it till you make it. So if you want to sit in a big car, sacrifice some cash and sit in a big car. Nina, branding. I was telling him earlier also that my brand marketing teacher told me to fake it till I make it. He didn't exactly say those words, but he said, put in some work in going up. But we're going to be speaking on personal branding and visibility as a creative. Let's start with defining your voice and digital presence. Defining your voice as a brand and your presence, your digital presence.
First, let me take a step back and attempt in my own way to speak to the conversation of fake it till you make it. So first, I think we need to understand what a brand is. And let's put all the rah-rah or English aside. A brand is a promise which is fulfilled. It's as simple as that. So when I tell somebody I would do something, and I do it every time I have to do it, I frame myself in that space, and I'll be seen as a brand. Now, if you fake it, that you fake one, and you fail to deliver, you fake two, and you fail to deliver, and you fake three, and you fail to deliver, then you are not that which you seek to be. You're not a brand. So imagine the concept of a Trigmatic, not Trigmatic himself, but the concept of Trigmatic purports to sing and hypes himself that he can sing. On the day you are called upon to sing and you cannot sing, then you are not that which you promised. So the baseline is a brand is a promise that must be fulfilled. So if your teacher imply that, we have to deal with him differently.
Like I said, you didn't say it in this exact words.
The second bit is this, and I like this conversation for a couple of reasons. And my original presentation will change because of the question that was asked by, is it Papayao? Ade. So first, everything we do within the concept of a what. What is the what? The what could be the economy. The what could be entertainment. The what could be education. The what could be marriage. There's a big what, and within that what is your what. So within the larger creative art industry are musicians, there are writers. So being a musician, there's a what within the creative space. And then there could be a Trigmatic who is a what within the music space, within the creative art space. So in defining yourself as a brand, it's important to understand the big picture of the what. And you begin to carve yourself and your niche out of it. So now let me go to his question. So his question is about, finding money and investments. And I think it's important to set a tone a bit differently. I think in 2022, the mayor of London, at a program in Lagos, spoke to the fact that the Nigerian creative art economy was north of $5.6 billion. So keep that figure in mind. Again, the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, I think, points to the fact that the creative arts contributes about 1.2, 1.3% of the GDP. Today, when you extrapolate and you take a look at the numbers in Nigeria, and I'm using Nigeria because of something, and I'm intentionally doing that. Today, the numbers within the creative arts space, from a Nigerian point of view, some estimate it around $7 billion. Let's even say $8 billion. But there are some who believe it's bigger than that. But let's say the conservative numbers are $8 billion. Borrow that $8 billion and mirror that to Ghana's economy. It will give you a sense that assuming Ghana's GDP is even $80 billion, that means that the creative arts space in Nigeria is no joke and it's a big deal. So the question is, if you want to play within a space like in Nigeria and in Ghana, what should you do? That's number one. Number two, from a branding point of view, I've always held the belief that the Nigerianization of Africa is almost complete. It's almost complete. And it would pain you to say it, but within the past 10 years, I'm very sure that we've seen a growth that has surprised many. And for some, from music to movies. Years ago, we'll speak about some of the finest writers from Nigeria. So today, they tick the boxes on writing, they tick the boxes on music, they tick the boxes on movies. So the question is, what's happening there? And I think in my view, this conversation of brand building is very, very important. So now we come back to the issues. I think, first of all, each person here has to define who they are within the space. You had to conduct an extensive research to understand what the market wants, to then create a product that sits within the market. Today, the market doesn't necessarily determine what it even wants, because someone can sit in their home and create a value the market didn't even know existed, and the person could get value out of that. I mean, I was shocked for my life that there are individuals who are creating live streams who are earning more than $30 million a year. And I'm saying, what's a live stream? A live stream is someone's activity at home, and you're following the person, and the person is earning money. And you follow the career of iSpeed, and you say, what's going on here? But that's value. Now, do you think anybody created any research somewhere that says that we are so bored to death that we want to follow the life of an individual eating wache and with the greatest of respect, farting in public, jumping around? But it works. So what is your brand? Should your brand be determined today by what the market is looking for? Or your brand should be determined by what you think the market should know of you? That's entirely up to you. Now, within a framework of the brand, there are a couple of things. And I want to go very traditional in marketing. There's a product part of marketing, which is what many talents at the University of Ghana today may have. So, what's the guy's name again? Ade. So Ade is a student musician. Yeah. Again, I don't know what it means to be a student musician.
No, you don't.
What does it mean to be a student musician? Get that? There is a musician.
A musician, yeah. Who's in school?
Now, I'm happy for Ade to say I'm a budding musician. But when Ade says I'm a student musician, should you be paid as a student musician when you sing for me? Or I should be a musician? Program tomorrow, looking for somebody to sing for me, and I call Ade, I'm going to give him standard rate in the market. Give me the same value, better than those in the market. So again, who's Ade? And I'm going to use you, Ade, I'm going to use you as a punching bag throughout this program. And I'm happy that the first step for the brand journey and having a voice is identifying the what. And in Ade's case, he's identified himself as a musician. The second bit is, what type of musician is Ade? In his presentation to Trigmatic, I didn't hear him say he's a gospel musician. He's a rapper. I didn't hear him say he sings Dej. I didn't hear him say he's an opera singer. So for the thousands of people who might hear him speak online, they have no clue. You spoke, so I would use you throughout. So the first thing about a brand is identifying your product. And he has one. He says, I'm a musician. The second one is, what type of musician? Because the demand for products and brands are very varied. For the person who's looking for someone to sing at the funeral, should they call him? married today, should they call him? The person who's organizing a kids party, should they call a day to sing for kids? Or the girl who's chopping 23 years old at the University of Ghana doing the party, should they call a day? Defining what part of the music he wants to play is very important. The third part, the first one is identifying it. The second is being very specific. And we are building the voice. The third thing is it's important for a day to be in a position to demonstrate the voice all the time. And I like something that Trig said. Trig said that sometimes the first level of audience you have as a people is your family. So when I found out today that MX was coming here to do a program, you had 2 minutes window between Trig and me speaking. And he chose to follow Trig out to have a conversation. I'm sorry, I'm going to pick on you for like a while. Forgive me. Now that 2 minutes that you played that CD, you could have played a song. Every opportunity you get as a brand is to amplify the voice you have. And he has an opportunity. I'm going to give him an opportunity today to sing. I'll give him 2 minutes of my time. So you have your product. You have defined which part of the what you want to play within. And the third part, which is very crucial, is how do you take advantage of the things that you are doing and the platforms you have. He has us here for him to show to us. And everybody who's here, whether you're a writer, you're a dancer, whatever you are, it's an opportunity to amplify and show to us what you're doing. Number 4. Should I go on?
Yes.
We have time?
Yes.
Good. Number 4 is course correcting. A brand voice, let's say a brand, is influenced by the changes of the time. And I'll give you a classical example. I like an example that Trig had given about he sitting on a motorbike. I believe I'm the finest marketing mind in Ghana.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, thank you. And I am that which you claim I am, that I'm such a big boy and I have to fake it till I make it. But guess what? In 2024, I was working on a project for the former vice president. And I finished the deck and everything else. And I was supposed to do a presentation in his office at Jubilee House. So I left the house. And all the way through, at some point, no, I didn't leave the house early. I took an Uber from home because my car was delaying. And when I got to Circles somewhere, the traffic was crazy. And in my estimate, I was going to be late by 20 minutes. And I'm doing a presentation to ministers, to the president, and people who, in my view, are miles of structure and everything else. So what the Uber driver stopped an Okada for me. And I had pimped up very well. I was wearing my, when you're going to some places, you look very nice. So I held my coffee Stanley cup on my left, held the motor rider this way, and I held my laptop bag this way, and I strapped behind the bike. All the way to Jubilee House. Now, in that moment in the traffic, I could have been seen by my ex-girlfriend. I could have been seen by my perceived enemies. I could have been seen by anybody who believes that my life is a failure or who hopes my life is a failure. But what kind of marketing consultant sits on an Okada holding a Stanley Cup and a laptop? I should have been bothered. But should I? In that moment, the only thing that mattered most in my life was a need for me to get to my destination to deliver the value that they were waiting for me to deliver. I got to the place and I delivered it. The point that I'm making is this. As a brand person, it's important to focus not just on the product, but on the value of the people that you are delivering it to. So, Ade, I'm back to you again. What does your song mean to the people who listen to it? What should it mean to it? Is your voice a voice of hope? Is it a voice of entertainment? Is it a voice of upliftment? Is it a voice of religion? Is it a voice of pornography? Is it a voice of sexuality? What is your voice? And how should it feel? You get what I mean? So having the voice is one thing. Me being a marketing consultant is one thing. Having the power of the voice to hold the mic is one thing. But anytime Mimi speaks, what should people feel? They should feel that your interviews provide answers for problems. That's your brand. That every time Mimi shows up, you must have clarity of thought about marketing, about music, about the economy, about social intervention. That's you. When Trig shows up and he sings, people must feel good about the fact that their lives will be better. Look at my story. If I have made it, you can make it. If people listen to me, they must understand that they can turn around a small idea into a big deal. And if I fail to deliver that value, my promise has not been fulfilled. Clear? So Ade, why should people listen to you? And again, I'm talking to Ade, but I'm talking to almost all of us here in this room. Whether you're a dancer, whether you're a poet, whether you're a musician, whatever you are, what value are you presenting to people? Clear? Then we now get to the big point of, do we have time?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, are you sure? Okay.
Do we have time, team?
Do we have time?
Yeah, we have time.
Then, your production crew is signaling you, so it distracts me. It's fine. Shall I go on? Okay, good. Then to the point of amplification. Now that you have the voice, and the voice is situated within you, how do you amplify the voice? It's not for me today to teach you how to use social media. I've seen a character, I hear Nigeria, create out of a voice by talking and being entertaining. Where you start is entirely. My job today is to just do 5 things. 1, define the size and the opportunity of the market. 2, help you narrow which part of the market you have to play within. 3, product your voice as an instrument for change. 4, who do you do it for? And how should it feel depending on how you say it? And 5, amplify your voice through the right channels. Are you with me? Are you with me? Good. Now we're going to move to another bit. Shall I go? Yeah. Okay, good. In all of these challenges, there's competition. Whilst you push your brand all the way through, understand that you would always have challenges along the line. And those brand challenges are real. Your voice won't always matter. Your song won't always make sense. Your ability to amplify won't always be right. But the greatest thing about a brand is being consistent with that which you do. I have been consistent about being a marketing person from as long as I can remember. So for your voice to matter as a brand person, ensure that you are consistent about the things that you're doing. Clear? Next, I'm going to give you an opportunity and support your career. So I'm going to ask you one question. A brand must not be afraid to ask for help. Clear? So every opportunity you get is an opportunity to ask for help. So in your pocket, and as students, pick a pen and paper all the time and write the following. What am I? What value do I provide? What help do I need? And ask yourself 3 questions. If I meet somebody who's interested in music, what should I say to the person? If I meet somebody who can invest in my career, what should I say to the person? If I meet somebody who I can partner, what should I say to the person? So that next time you meet a Trigmatic, your questions to him will be dependent on what you're looking for as a brand. Clear? My last point. Then I get to an example and then I'm done. Some years ago, the British Council invited me to speak on a subject of customer service. And I was on a platform with Kujo Yang Singh of Joy FM and some few chaps. I got about 10 minutes to speak about it. Good program. Then when I got a message, I put it on Facebook. And I tweeted about it. And I got very small engagements. I was like, Charlie Mipa, I'll be a big boy. When I put things out, you must respond to it. You people, what's up? The following year when they invited me, when I went for the program that year, I delivered. So the following year, they invited me alone to speak on the subject matter. I didn't post the content. I waited. I waited until they posted it. Then I picked it from their content and amplified it. And the trends, what's the point? You have a voice that doesn't matter, even though your voice is good. So sometimes as a brand, your greatest asset today to amplify your voice is to stand on the shoulders of those who have a stronger voice. Clear? In your presentation with Trig today, you could say to him, and because you knew he was coming here, you could say that I've listened to 15 of your songs. 3 of them I like. 2 I think could have been better, and I have the right lines to make it better. Let's consider a remix. Here are my words to the song. Did you think about that? My job is to provoke you. That when you tell him that track 2 of this album could have been better, and I could have done A, B, C to make it better, he would say, sing for me, make a here, maybe outside. Now that is you putting a value to things. Clear? Next. I'm creating the value in my head as I'm speaking, so walk with me. I want to create a distinction between love and availability as a brand. In my days as marketing director for Tigo, how many of you saw the Drop That Yam advert? Time soon. That was me and my team. So in my days in Tigo, we went to a place in the Volta region called Huli Falls. I've said this so many times. We're conducting a bottom of the pyramid research. In the community, the only network that was available was Vodafone. Listen to me. The only network that was available in the community as at the time was Vodafone. So we asked the people in the research, what network do you use? Vodafone. What network do you use? Vodafone. What network do you use? Vodafone. Then we asked the next question. What network do you love? And guess the answer. Not Vodafone, MTN. Now you're shocked. Sometimes the fact that your music is available for consumption doesn't mean your music is loved. So brands try to build love. Now why did they say MTN? Because MTN sponsors their festivals together. And MTN sponsors music, which on Saturday allows them to chill with their wives and family. What's the point I'm making? A very important part about a brand is your ability to build love. And this example I'm giving you is right in every part of our life as human beings. Love and availability. Clear? So a brand that fails to build love will not be able to stimulate the conversation that it wants to stimulate within the market. I don't have too much time, otherwise I'll push the boundary a lot. Guys, I'm sorry. So maybe let me wrap up here, and then we can take some questions. Yes, it's fine. And then we can take some questions. But in a nutshell, for me, it's this: that what is a brand voice? A brand voice. Let's do it in Cree. I was saying Tewonka. And in Teyonka, there's a tone to the brand voice. There's how it sounds like. There's how your brand makes me feel. Like the way I'm talking now, if I do a research, there are people who would say, I like what he's saying. There are people who say, I like his voice. There are people who say, oh, everybody has what they pick from the brand voice. So the message you put out there is very, very important. So in a nutshell, what have I done? There is a what. Within that what, there's a creative art space. Within the creative art space, there are segments. Within those segments, there are the likes of Trigmatic and many, many others. They have a product of voice, product of movie, product of dance. They add value to it, to those they intend to communicate with, and they spend time consistently in pushing it. Anything short of that, there's trouble. And you amplify it, and at the end, you try to build brand love. My advice, do what you're doing, be consistent about it, be loud about it, and be heard. My last advice, and I'm sorry I might be hated for this. Do not...
You just preached to be loved. All of a sudden,
yeah, but because you see, this is social media is very tricky, so I need to be careful.
Yeah.
Do not be like me in your ways. I come from a generation where there are things you can't say and do. Don't be like the Ghanaian I am. Be like the Ghanaian you are. And the Ghanaian you are, put a mic in front of you, test the system, do your stuff, push your brand, and take advantage of every opportunity you get to sell that which you are. And with that, I thank you very much.
I do not like interviewing Jesse Agyepong. All of you should just know this. We're on national television. I don't, because he literally just answered 2 questions in one. So I don't know what to do right now. So what we're going to now do, because we had 2 questions for him, and those were very intense questions, so we wanted them to be broken down. But he actually has done that. Please put your hands together for him. Because our next line of question was going to be about visibility.
Yes.
Now that, social media has made being visible a currency now.
Yes.
You have to be here. You have to be seen. Else nobody will love you. Nobody will want to collaborate with you. And so those were things that we wanted to find. And you have just done an incredible job with that. Okay?
Thank you.
One more time for him. But I think that's when we take questions from you. So, let's do that. Let's take questions from you. Ade, you want to start?
Be very
Since
careful.
you're in the middle of this conversation today, you want to ask any question? Yeah, I think Ade has a question.
I have can I do something?
Oh, please go ahead.
Ade, please come. This is something I do lots of times. Can Ade please stand here? And face here. Choose any girl in a room. Choose any, quickly, we don't have time. I have just 2 minutes. Choose any girl in a room. Okay, Ade, choose her. Oh, let me invite her. Don't drag her. Ade, position her and yeah, good. Is the camera picking very well? Good. Ade, look at her. Look at her carefully. Have you taken note of her? Should she turn around? Should she turn around? It's okay. There's nothing I can do. The mic is not working. Ade, come on, man. Come on, man. Ade, a brand voice, man. Ade. He has to match it. Maybe, please take Mimi's mic, yes. Ade, please tell me what you see. I need 5 things you see. Ade, go ahead. 5 things you see, quick.
I like her outfits.
Fantastic. It's beautiful, though.
Very beautiful.
Keep going. You're almost there. Go. Come on, man. Make men proud.
I like her smile.
I like the... If you hadn't said a smile, I would have been very upset. But continue. And you came for a program to understand how to power your career. The woman in front of you could be an investor. She could be your sugar mommy. She could be your girlfriend. She could be a listener of your music. She could have access to anybody in the world who can help your career grow. She could be the CEO of any company that's focused on music. You listen to Trick tell you about how to take advantage of opportunities. You listen to him get dropped from a vehicle many times. You listen to his stories. You listen to me speak about taking advantage of the opportunities you get. And I'm not saying sensuality and sexuality is not an opportunity, but of all the things you could have done, you saw that which you've always seen. So here's the question. Why did you not see a consumer of music and easy? Why? Take your time and think about it very carefully. It begins the change in our journey as brands people. And again, I'm using a day.
Because of
Let's go through a change. Guys, I could have said, what did you see? You could have just said, Madam, where do you work? What do you do? Oh, you work at Bank of Ghana. Oh, every December you do parties at the Bank of Ghana. Tell them I'm the biggest youth advocate on campus. Treg told you he lied to them to get a radio station job. You could have told us that you are the biggest musical voice on campus. And she would say, yeah. But you didn't see that. So I give you 2/1,000. But that's a lesson for all of us. That as a brand, take advantage of every opportunity you get. And I thank you very much. You have a question? Yes, please give it a mic.
Ask the question. I thought you would reframe it based on your presentation and say that based on what he sees, what is my brand promise?
No.
Then in that case,
he would have reflected what he was looking for. Right. Yes. But you see, the thing about life is that when we arrive at a place, we don't see brands. We see cars and people and beads and trousers and buttocks and breast and chest. No, true. See what I'm saying? Or we see faith, hope. Those things are not very visible. Hope is not visible. You get what I mean? As a Christian, you might feel it. But we are driven by the most obvious things. And sometimes in the moment that matters most, we hide the things that we must ask for. Do you understand what I'm saying? This was your moment. Clear? But if you want to marry too, what you did was correct. You get what I mean? Please, let's put our hands together for them.
Okay, any other questions, please?
Now they are afraid to ask questions.
Now they are afraid to ask questions. Oh, Jesse. Okay, there's a question over there.
Yes. Please ask me the question.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Please, my name is Salem.
Okay.
I'm so intrigued about your presentation. It's so thought-provoking. I want more.
Okay.
Please, how can I get more?
So I can give you my details. My colleagues and I are launching a program called Game. No, we launched it last year, and we are. Can I do this? This year we are doing the phase 2. So Game is the Ghana Academy for Marketing and Events, and so maybe I can have you volunteer.
Okay.
So you can spend time with the team. We can talk and argue and debate and eat some wache, and we'll all live happily ever after.
Definitely.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Thank you. I see. You see what she did right there?
Yeah, she sold.
Yeah.
She tricked me.
You are learning. Okay, put your hands together for yourselves. Any other questions, please? Hey, ask questions though. I know he just said, oh, you can have access to me, you can be on the team, whatever, but he's not that accessible.
Is it Apau? Ade, you have the last question, then I'll leave. So before Ade comes, any more questions, please?
Before Ade, okay, I think we don't have any other question.
Okay.
And my team is telling me we don't have enough time as well. So Ade, your question.
Ade, one question.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I really like it. And my question now, I mean, it looks like you've already solved it, so that's why I don't want to ask more questions. Because in your presentation, you did assure me that you will help me.
If I put 5,000 cities down today, and I said I'll make it available to you, available to you when you need it, what's the first thing you need?
Hit the studio.
How much does it cost to do studio work? Again, you don't know. Good.
I know.
How much?
2K.
2K. Trick, it be correct.
Depend.
So let's do this. Let's say I help you with 2K. I'll give 2K to MX people. They'll pay for studio for you. And then go and do your studio. If you do the studio and the studio is what you need, you will know that the studio is what you need. You get what I mean? So let's say you and I have a 2K pact. If I'm impressed with your studio work, maybe in the future I might release a 3K. So in your mind, you have 5K that you don't have. But I'll give them 2K today. Go to the studio and show them the receipt and start your career. And promote yourself as the biggest deal at the University of Ghana campus. Don't ever call me. Always call them. Clear?
Thank you very much.
Okay, people, listen, this has been absolutely amazing. Like he said, there's a lot of things coming up from their camp. Wants to connect with you. I know the gentlemen here are ready to learn from you. How do we connect with you before we let you go?
Jesse. Agyepong is AJYEPONG. You'll find me on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, and I think I'm new on TikTok. I find it very exciting. So I'm on TikTok, I think as Boss J1 or so. If you send me a message on social media, I'll respond immediately. I have time. So every evening at least I'll respond to the message. So send me a message and let's get talking.
Thank you so much, Jesse.
Thank you so much.
We're still live here and we are doing the Lord's work with the MX24 team here. Thank you so much. Also to you out there, thank you so much for joining us. This is the AM Club Masterclass and we're here to shift the narrative a little bit, just a little bit. After this presentation, you know what we're talking about. There's more to come right here on the AM Club Masterclass.
us.
Sorry.
Let's reduce the sweet small.
I speak quite fast. Sorry, thank you. Right,
It's all good,
right.
it's all
Sorry.
good.
Yeah. Okay,
So let's just reiterate briefly.
Okay, so what I was saying earlier in a much slower tone, I was saying that as individuals, we all have ambitions, we all have goals, we all have heights that we want to attain. I see, so many young, brilliant people, some of you are 400, 300, just thinking about the thing they want to do after school. And one thing that I have realized in my own journey, even as an entrepreneur, is that you cannot go anywhere in this life without people. I run a business in interior design. One of the businesses that I run is in interior design. And I realized that some of the clients that I get, or some of the people that bring me opportunities, are people I met many years ago. I established relationships with them. And that's one key thing that you want to do. In our world today, we talk about, networking and building relationships. And sometimes what we do is that we network with people as a means to an end. So we see people as commodities, and we don't see people as human beings. Right. So we meet people, and you're thinking, this person is the MD of so bank, I can get a project with him, so let me use him as a means to an end. But when you are networking and when you are meeting people, see humans as humans. Be interested in what value that you can give them. So back to what I was saying, that in the success that I have experienced as an entrepreneur, I realized that most of the time it's from building relationships with people, long-term relationships. I've been surprised. Sometimes I sit down and I reflect and I realize that I met somebody maybe 5 years prior, and then I ended up doing a project with them, or I ended up doing a project that they connected me to. So I was saying earlier that one who puts a flight 1,000, two puts a flight 10,000. There's so many things that you want to do, so many highs that you want to attain. You cannot do it all by yourself. And I just to retrieve what I said earlier, that in doing the math, you think that if you are putting to flight 1,000, then when somebody else comes together, it should be 2,000, because that's basic math, and we all understand 1 + 1, right? But it says that it's 10,000. So just imagine what you can achieve, or how much further you can go when you create a nexus, that synergy where you're able to do way more than you would have done all by yourself.
Rightfully so. But how would you say you can distinguish between strategic partnerships and social partnerships? Because, for example, who here is into acting or music? Who's into music except Ade? Okay, there are other musicians here in the building. Who's into acting, craft, modeling? Anybody else? Yeah, I see that there's someone in the back there. Great. When you're trying to make some of these connections with people, it may come off like, okay, I want to, Ghanaians will call it, I want to ahunsh you. Yes. And then once I ahunsh you, I'll get closer and then be able to attain what I want to get. But sometimes it can go left, where it just stays within a social relationship instead of a strategic partnership. So how are you able to decipher between the two? And how do you make sure that that connection turns into a connection instead of just staying social?
Okay. I think one key thing is knowing who you are and knowing the value that you bring. Because it's in knowing who you are and knowing the value that you bring that you are able to discern other people's value and able to figure out what they can bring to the table as well. And I believe that in some instances, or in many instances, you may make certain social connections, and it may not even be a strategic connection in the very beginning. Eventually, businesses build from relationships. Businesses build from friendships. So as you're interacting with the person, meeting them up for drinks, meeting up for lunch and stuff like that, you start talking because you build trust. Business is built on trust. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine. She also does interiors, and she was talking about how she was trying to refer people to other people, and they say no because she's overwhelmed, and they say no, they want to work with her because people do business with you based on the relationship that they have with you. I do not think that you should meet people and categorize it and say, okay, this is going to be a social, relationship, and this is going to be a strategic one. It also goes back to what I was saying earlier, that see people as people, be interested in their stories, be interested in how you can create value for them, be interested in how they can create value for you as well. Eventually, from the social relationship, it can become a strategic relationship. I don't think you should make too much of a difference, because if we are going back to the point of seeing people as people, then you are seeing this person as a person. It's in when you are interacting with them from a social standpoint that you eventually distill that, okay, this person is going to stay a social relationship and this person is going to be a strategic connection.
Right. So I'm sure everyone here is wondering what I'm wondering. What are the building blocks of a good collaboration? What are the things that you would say make up the solid collaboration? A checklist that people can follow so that they don't go to the left side.
Okay. First of all, I would say shared goals, shared ambition, and also in some instances, shared personalities. For example, if most of you are creatives here, so if you decide that you are going to maybe put together a film with somebody. I mean, in the film industry, there are so many genres that you can decide to establish a film in. But then you can't decide that you want to do, what are some of the examples in the film? You were in the, okay.
In the film industry, there's comedy, romance, the chick flicks.
Right. They decide that they want to do a docu-series on humanitarian causes. And there's somebody who decides that for them, their film or their talent is all about entertainment. They're not interested in maybe creating a docu-series on humanitarian causes in Sudan, for example. So there's no point in establishing a relationship. I mean, you can establish a relationship with that person. You can bounce off ideas more on a technical side, how to create films, how to do this. But then in such an instance, your goals are different because this person wants to create movies for entertainment and you are looking at creating movies for more humanitarian causes. So in creating partnerships or in doing collaborations, I believe that one thing that is very important is shared values and shared goals and shared ambition. So once you know that, okay, can two work together unless they are agreed? So once you know that the two of you are going in the same direction, it's easy to trust the other person to know that, okay, this person is not going to leave me along the way on the journey. We have the same vision, we have the same ideas, we see things the same way, and we can go the long haul together.
I like how this isn't a masterclass, it's also a Bible study. I hope we're taking notes. But yes, let's talk about the traits you should look out for with someone who you want to collaborate. Who would you call a good collaborator? What are some character traits you would say are green flags? What character traits are beige flags, meaning that they're extremely neutral, and which ones are red flags that we need to run away from?
Right. Okay, so I would say one green flag is your ability to trust somebody. Your ability to trust somebody. So I play golf, and usually people on the golf course talk about the fact that it's a good place to build relationships, and it's a good place to find out who you can do business with. I read a story recently about a lady and her husband. They were playing golf with a friend of theirs, and they were looking to go into partnership with the person they were playing golf with. And the wife came to the husband and told the husband that do not do business with this person because I saw him. It's easy to cheat in golf. So, it's a game built on trust. So he said, do not do business with this individual because I saw him cheating. I think he shifted his ball or something like that. So one major green flag that you need to look out for in people that you are going to be in partnership with is trust. And I've also come to realize over the years that sometimes it's easy for us to say, oh, I know this person, or this person is my friend, or this person is my family member, so I want to enter into a partnership with them. You may have known some people for longer, but it's interesting to know that some people may walk into your life that very day, and it's easier to create more trust with them. It's easier to do something with them. So flipping that again, a red flag is somebody you cannot trust. If the person is a cheat, if the person is a liar, if the person does not say or do what they say, for example. So, because another thing in partnerships is that we are sharing the weight of what we are doing. When you decide to do a partnership, you're going to say, yes, you are sharing the bedding. So you saying that, okay, you need to partner with somebody who does what they say they're going to do. Let's say we've drafted an agreement. For example, I run a firm as well. It's a partnership. So in our agreement, I know what my strengths are. I know what I bring to the table. I know what my partner's strengths are. I know what he brings to the table. So we have an agreement as different lawyers running a business. If this person is not somebody who has the gift of follow through, who has the gift of doing what he says he's going to do, I do not think he should enter into a partnership with them, because eventually they're going to leave you in the middle of the road. You feel cheated because you feel like you do all the work, and when the success comes, or when the glory comes, or when the profit comes, they would want to share in the profits, and you don't want that. So somebody that is trustworthy and somebody who has a gift of follow through, who does what they say they will do when they say they will do it.
Nice one, nice one. But let's dive deeper into the whole trust conversation.
Okay.
So I can speak for upcoming musicians because I've dealt with a lot of them. I don't know so much about the acting space or other spaces, but with upcoming musicians, sometimes there's an artist that's super gifted, super talented. They have an amazing producer. Everything they do is world-class quality. They just don't have the link that takes them to the next level. But unfortunately, when they collaborate with certain big names, instead of growing, they actually end up dying out. It kills their light. So what traits would you say that upcoming people should look for when they are going to collaborate with a bigger brand to make sure that they are not taken advantage of?
Okay. I would say discernment, or in a secular world, I would say intuition, your gut feeling.
Not everybody has that.
I believe everybody has gut feeling and intuition, because most times when people fall into trouble, or most times when people get into like a bad space, you hear them say things like, oh, and something told me, or I felt like, and I knew from the very beginning. I believe that everybody has gut feeling and gut intuition, gut instinct. So I think you should listen to your guts. If you have practiced your discernment over the years, over the period that you've been alive, then you can listen to your discernment and say, there are little things that you can pick up. There are some things they're not tangible. Some of these things, when you are building trust with people and stuff like that, it's instinctive. There's some people that I've done business with, and I realized that from the very first day I met this person, something told me to merge with this person, or something told me to draw closer to this person. There are some people, you meet them, you can't really tell what it is, or maybe how they treat the people around them. You can just tell that this person is going to cheat me one day, or is going to kick me out of a deal one day. So I think your gut feelings. And because I represent the legal side as well, get some contracts. I find it interesting how many people do, deals in, within our spaces, and they're not, putting things down on paper because they trust the person, or they believe in whatever it is. Even if you're doing business with your mother or your father, I believe you should get something on paper. It protects you in the long run.
So with that being said, Ade, the money that Mr. Agyepong promised you, we need to get that on paper and sign a contract to MX24 with that regard. Mimi, are we on track with that? Yes, we're on track with that. Lovely. I love to see it. Let's talk about mentorship.
Okay.
Mentorship can fall under collaborations, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what would you describe as the role of a mentor? Because unfortunately, in this part of the world, the role of a mentor is a little shaky. When somebody says they are going to talk to their mentor, hang with their mentor, they end up doing boy activities and shining shoes and going to buy wache. But in other parts of the world, when they are doing mentorship, it involves coaching and talking to people. So what would you say the real essence of mentorship is, so we can correct our mindset a bit?
Well, it's a bit of both. It's a bit of both, because I believe that if someone has attained the heights that you want to attain in life, and you come into their life and you're asking them to give you some of their time, or some of their intellect, or some of their experiences, you have to trade something. Unfortunately or fortunately, this is the world we live in is a world of value exchange. So what are you giving in return for the person giving you their time? The way you get into certain rooms is by serving. So I don't think there's an issue where you're serving somebody, maybe picking up their laundry from the laundromat or doing certain things. It's only you have to, at a certain point in time, while you're serving this mentor, you also need to assess and find out what exactly you're getting from this whole relationship. And you have to steer the conversation towards that. Because sometimes what we realize is that some people get into mentor-mentee relationships, and they get lost in the whole, quagmire of serving, and they even forget why they decided to attach themselves to this mentor in the first place. So you have to be a highly self-aware person and say that, okay, it's fine. I mean, I get to buy this person's lunch so I can have access to him, or I can have access to her. And while I have access to her, maybe while I'm serving their lunch, or while I'm, maybe picking up their kids from school or whatever, or doing errands for them, I can also ask them the questions that the time with them affords me that maybe they don't have the structured time to give me. So I think it's a bit of both. If you want a mentor, I believe that you should provide some value. You should be willing to serve, and then you can get the value that you want in return.
Right. That's a big piece of advice that I'm going to keep for the rest of my life. But with that being said, how do you position yourself to get closer to the people you admire, want to learn from, without necessarily becoming a groupie or a victim of their one tag?
I think in life you have to do what you have to do. I think in life, I remember there was somebody who asked a question about trying to run away from the tag of people saying you are doing too much or you are doing this or you are doing that. I'll give a typical example. When I was in school, I was there, I was very, going for events, ushering at events, doing gigs here and there. I was part of the gig economy, right? And I remember when I finished school, someone offered me a job. I was just before I did my national service. Someone offered me a job at an advertising agency, and then I didn't want it, so I gave it to a friend of mine. And that friend did that job for 10 years. For 10 years, she just recently left that job. And I have so many stories like that. You have to be whatever you have to be. You know where you want to go in life. I'm not saying you're going, lick people's boots or do all of that.
But we don't recommend.
We don't recommend that. But always meet people. First of all, you have to be confident. You have to know who you are, know what you bring to the table. Be confident. Approach people, have conversations with them. When they see the value in you, they'll want to keep you around. So yeah, I think the ahunshia thing is where you are just hanging around people because, something small for the boys or something like that. That's not productive. Bring yourself to the table of men. Let them know that you are somebody of value, that they need you in their life. Because there are certain things that they want to do, maybe a certain passion project that they want to work on, that they don't even have time to work on it. And you are the person that they can say, okay, this person is a person of value, and this person can spearhead this project. So you don't have to be an ahoshet type. But then once you provide value, once you present yourself to them, you go a long way.
Lovely. So I'd like us to do a little demonstration where we learn with those in the audience. Okay. Let's pick someone. Ade, you are our project for today. Kindly come forward.
I think Ade is tired. Can we try someone else?
Ade will be fine. He'll survive. Come forward. So if Ade is to meet you today and he's supposed to network with you, how would you want him to present himself in order for you to see that he has some level of value as a musician to call you in as an investor?
Okay. All right. So I'm playing the role of an investor.
You're playing the role of an investor. Okay. What would you like to hear him say when he's introducing himself? So let's do a little trial test. Ade, we're going to give you like the 4th chance today to introduce yourself. So introduce yourself based on everything you've learned so far from Jessie and our other panelists. And then she will mark you and grade you and show everyone what you actually need to say or what you don't need to say in order to present yourself properly as someone who needs some form of network or collaboration.
Right.
So over to you.
Okay, so my name is Ade.
More volume.
I'm a songwriter, rapper, recording artist, and then a record producer as well. Yeah, I do Afro beats and then hip hop. I do conscious music. I mean, music that actually uplifts the soul, and most of my songs are based on motivations and all that. Yes.
The boy is learning. I see someone clapping in the back for him. A round of applause for Ade. We love it. The masterclass is working. AM club to the world. MX24 to the world. I'm excited. I'm geeked.
Right.
Okay, so let's grade him.
Okay. I would say that he started the conversation. Hi, my name is Ade. And he just went, straight into talking about himself, saying what he does, which is great because of what he's picked out today. But I would say that pace yourself. We just discussed earlier the fact that when you meet people, be interested in their stories as well. Because in you introducing yourself, it's all me. And whether you like it or not, human beings are selfish. You need to meet, when you're networking with people, you need to meet somebody, introduce yourself, find out who they are, find out a bit about them. So I'll give you a bit of an example. I worked with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for a bit as a lawyer, and we had a networking event, an event with some ambassadors. I met one of the who needed help from the legal bureau I was working at. So I met her and I told her, my name is XYZ, what's your name? And then she told me, and I told her, I work in the legal bureau. And then she said, I've been trying to do this, I've been trying to work on XYZ. So she gave me a card and she said, you know what, let's talk on Monday, I can help you with that. It's easier to get through to people, it's easier to penetrate people's networks or penetrate people's walls when you're offering value to them, when you're interested in their stories. So yes, great, you can talk about yourself, but let it be an exchange. Don't let it be a one-sided, conversation. Get to know about them, find out more of their story, and you'll be surprised. In finding out more about them, you can leverage on that and share more about yourself.
And adding on to what she said, confidence is a posture. Confidence is not always a state of mind, because sometimes in your mind you're nervous and what you have in front of you seems daunting. You're not sure how you're going to do it, but it's your posture. So then when you're speaking, look into the person's eyes. You don't need to put your hands behind your back to fake humility. Fake humility wears off when money comes. Just address the people as you will and everything will be fine. But let's also talk about the other side of confidence, which is frowned upon in our society. When someone is very sure of themselves and they move to someone and they're outrightly trying to network and speak, they're seen as too forward or too known, or they're seen as arrogant. How can we correct some of these mindsets today so that we grow to be assertive Ghanaians who can go ahead and have real conversations with people and not hide under the cloak of timidity and die there?
I think our Ghanaian upbringing has done us a great disservice in that regard. So there's this line of Beyonce's song that I usually sing to myself. Some call it arrogance, I call it confidence.
Yes,
right?
That's from Ego.
Okay, girl. So it's so easy to be putting yourself out there. Maybe you start putting out content, or you're running a business and you need your brand to be out there. And people look at you and they're like, who does she think she is? And blah, blah. I am whoever I think I am. I'm the one that defines myself by the grace of God. God gives me an identity, and that's all that it is. If you are here in the room right now, I find that to be a major issue. So back to this networking event I went for with some ambassadors and stuff like that. I went with a colleague of mine, also from the legal department. So as a matter of fact, people who were working in the ministry were not invited to this event. We just got wind of it, and I said, aren't you going? We closed from work. I was like, aren't you going? Come and let us go. The whole time, it was from Airport's residential area to Peduase in Ibri. The whole time we were driving, he kept on saying, can you drop me? I want to go home. Can you drop me? I want to come. And that's, a reflection of his upbringing. It's like, okay, nobody has invited you. Why are you going? Me, I had one thing in mind. They are going to be meeting the president. They're going to be meeting all the ambassadors in this country. I don't know where I'm going to need them in the next 5 or 10 years. I need people. I need to connect with them. So one thing is, yes, like she said earlier, confidence is a posture. You can be jittering, confident, approach people. It's so interesting because sometimes the people that you want to meet or you're scared to meet are the nicest, most welcoming, most loving people. So if you don't try, the answer will always be no. It's important that you put yourself in the room. And if you put yourself in the room and someone, is flippant towards you, or someone insults you or whatever it is, well, that's their loss, because you also know that you're a person of value. You also know what you bring to the table, and unfortunately, they couldn't experience the beauty that is you. So that's it. Like, you have to be confident. You have to know what you bring to the table. Put yourself out there. If people, dispel you or dislike you, just shake it off you. The next networking event, still go, show up, and trust me, you will find people who want to be with you, people who want to help you, and people who want to, rub shoulders with you.
So in that case, if you ever go somewhere and someone is flippant towards you or they treat you like you are less than, look them in the eye and tell them, see you in 10 years. And make sure that thing happens.
Yes.
Make sure it happens. But in this digital world, how would you say we can build real communities? There are a lot of farmers out there, and the farmers are not just on the plantation. They are also on social media. Okay. People pay for farming streams, farming engagements, farming likes. You see that somebody has 1 million followers, 15 likes, 2 comments. Somebody has 1,500 followers. You look in their comment section, it's large. You look at their likes, it's organic. So how can we build an organic system and an organic network in the digital world to our advantage?
Okay, so just off what you just said, I don't think it's important, or I don't think it's necessary to buy that stuff. I think the digital world representation of our world as is, our physical world. So it's about showing up every single day as your authentic self, showing up every single day as the person that you are. And the people that need what you have, the people that like you, the people that support you will come to you. I believe that it's important that you, every single day, if you're an artist, for example, and you're looking to build your community, show up consistently, provide value. It could be you making somebody laugh. It could be you entertaining somebody. It could be you educating somebody. But whatever it is, know that it's all goes back to the fact that you know that you have something valuable to bring to the table. And once you bring that once you bring that, you package it nicely. Trust me, you build a great community, you build a great network, and you don't have to buy any followers or any of that to stay relevant.
Right. And in real life, when it comes to building an actual community, a support system, not just for you as a person, but for your business, what steps would you say that people should take? Because some people have strategic partners that they collaborate on work with, but when there are real issues, for example, when you are owing GRA and then they've closed your shop, who are the people you can call to make sure that some way, somehow, you find some sort of comfort? How do you develop a cushion for yourself? Is what I'm trying to ask.
Again and maybe
How do you develop a cushion for yourself in terms of creating a community as a business person, or as someone in the creative space?
Right. I'll say that building community is very simple, or creating a cushion for yourself. This life that we're living is very interesting, right? You can be an individual showing up authentically as you, and you meet people who just like you for you, people who maybe you are kindred spirits or whatever it is. So it's a matter of, like I said again, even on social media, showing up authentically as yourself, but it's also a matter of showing up authentically as yourself, offering help. Sometimes we have people within our network, and you are the person that they call for assistance or help. Maybe they need this contact or stuff like that. When you are that person for other people, when you also need help, you can find solace in other people as well, because you are. So it's a thing of trade, not in a barter system kind of way, because in that way you're thinking very business minded, almost crude and shrewd. But then in just a way of, okay, I just want to be a person of value. I just want to help people around me. So in you constantly being, people will also come and help you. It may not even be the people that you helped. It may be other people, but they just know that, okay, as for you, you are somebody who helps people when they are in need, or when they need, a comfort place. So they will also come around and help you when you are also in your time of need.
So long story short, acquire the resources and the network and the know-how to be what the plug. Be the plug always. All right, is there anything else you'd like to share, and then we can take some questions from the audience?
I think I would like to hear from the audience. So
all right, so audience, is there anyone that has a question? I see Mimi has her hand up. So Mimi has a question. Let's hear what Mimi has to say.
Actually, I'm surprised that I want to ask a question right now, but
okay.
So it's two things. First off, I want to make a comment on your illustration with Ade. He looked very confused when you started telling him that, you can't go and sell yourself, but he was just told a few minutes ago that sell yourself, ally. Yeah, he looked very confused, and it is confusing in life. Everything we want to do is confusing. You read something in the Bible that says don't do this, and then there's a part that says you can go ahead and do it this way, do it that way, and it's confusing. But what it is that you need to understand that it's a barter situation. You're going with whoever is going to mentor you or collaborate with you or support you. So you're giving value to be valued. You cannot go there and not give anything and expect to be helped. When Jesse was looking at you, he was looking at a talent that we could harness and get something great out of, but he doesn't know where he's standing. So let's push him this way and get him to start talking like this. Right. So it's not confusing. Don't confuse the two. You're standing in the middle. If this one comes, if there's an opportunity for you to sell yourself, you sell yourself, knowing that you need to also give to merit what you're getting, if that helps. Secondly, I want to ask about this question. I think I've asked myself several times. A lot of people have asked me, and I have never found an answer for it, because you also don't know when you're able to do that. When you're collaborating, seeking mentorship, as Kili was asking earlier, you go, all of a sudden you become boy. But there are also times when you're losing yourself, serving someone for 10 years. Now this 10 years, you were looking at becoming something. Like I went to this station to become an on-air personality, but all of a sudden, at 5 years in, I am serving the boss and I've not been given an opportunity to go on air. At what point do I say it's enough? I have lost enough of myself to you and it's time for me to move on. When do you do that? Because I know we realize it in the second year, but you just have to keep going. At what point do you then realize that the law, the 45, is it the 48 laws of
wickedness and power?
No, I said that's law too, right? It says that you cannot outshine your master.
Accurate.
But then you are working to become something? Whilst you're serving, at what point do I become what I'm looking for?
I think, so while you were speaking, a line came to mind. I have a mentor who says that you need to break away from mentors who become tormentors. So you enter the relationship thinking that you were going to get something of value. You were offering your service, you were offering your time, thinking that they were going to, help you develop yourself. And then you realize that, okay, this is not going as I planned. I think immediately you realize it. Immediately you realize, okay, this is how this person thinks. Or this person doesn't want me to outshine me. Because the truth of the matter is there are good mentors and there are bad mentors. We have mentors who take delight in the fact that I raised this person, I groomed this person is even doing better than me. When Trig was talking, he was talking to Ada, he was saying that he's praying that he does much more and becomes way better than he was. So there are good mentors and there are bad mentors. But unfortunately, you do not find out whether they are good mentor or they are a bad mentor when you are meeting them for the first time or the first few sessions with them. But immediately you realize that this person has, a mindset that is not, doesn't align with where you want to go or what you are trying to achieve from this relationship. You can just cut the person off. There's also a caveat to that, because I've also realized that in this generation, in the younger generation with the Gen Zs, people are quick to, give up on things. So you start something in the first week or in the first month, it's not going the way you want it to go, so you break it off. Maybe the person is trying to test you. I usually tell people that you can't bring some of these tests to me because I'll feel poto. But then in some instances, the person may be trying to test your resilience. The person may be trying to test, because some people who are in certain positions also feel like people come around them to take advantage of them. So there may be a season of proving yourself. But if you have gone through the learning curve, or you've gone through the season of proving yourself, and you feel like you've proved yourself over and over and over again, and this person is not giving you any opportunities to shine or any opportunities to grow, then you just, take your bag, take your shoes, and you run.
But in those situations, I'm sorry I'm even butting with the question, I'm not the audience, but how do you recover from that though? Because let's assume you give 10 years of your life to serving somebody. Mm-hmm. You have been doing boy professionally for 10 years, delivering wache at top speed. How do you come out of that and recover your lost time? Because time is not something you can buy back.
Right. I thought you were even going to add, so recover your lost time and recover your lost identity. Because sometimes what happens is that when you serve bad mentors, they chip away from who you are. They take away from who you are supposed to be. So I'll say that for the first part, with the lost time, time is never lost. Your time is never lost. Anytime, I believe in the fact that anything you put out in the world, you will get back, and you get back in a thousandfold. I believe in the law of seed time and harvest. So you may have served this person and may not have reaped anything from that particular person, but trust me, you are going to reap it from somebody else in some other avenue. Sometimes I sit back and I reflect and I look at the things around me. I look at what I'm able to do and I say that, okay, I try to, connect dots and I trace it back and I say that this is from the seed sown here. This is from the seed sown here. I have, a personal assistant that is, very diligent, very, very lovely. And I think about the fact that I also, about 10 years ago, was a personal assistant to someone. And I practically served the person. I mean, it was paid, it was a job. But then there were times when my weekends, I would do things that were outside my job description. So I sit back and I realize, okay, this person is being helpful to me right now. And I realize that it's a seed that has been sown in the time that I served other people. So the time, do not think that the time has been lost. The time has definitely not been lost. You reap it in other forms. With regards to your identity, it's about healing. If the person chipped away at your identity, you have to decide that, okay, before I met this person or before I decided to go and serve this person, I saw myself as XYZ. And after serving this person, because one sad thing is that when people are in a position of authority over you, the words that they say over you carry weight. They have weight. So if this person told you, or they may not have said it, but in their actions towards you, in the fact that they did not allow you to shine, it's diminished your light. You have to do the inner work. You have to decide that, okay, I'm giving myself this time to heal and be myself again. I'm giving myself to heal and be that bright light that I know that I am. And find yourself in the right spaces, with the right friendship, with the right family, with the right communities. And trust me, within a couple of days, within a couple of weeks, within a couple of months, you'll be shining right back again.
You'll be shining. You'll definitely bounce back.
Yeah.
All right, do we have any more questions from the audience for All right, we have a question from Starboy. We love to see it. And then one more from the back. Is there a question from the back? Okay, so that's our last question. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So my question now is that as a law practitioner or someone who practices law, I'm an upcoming artist, and then here's the case I've worked with the producer, and then I chance to get a license or a contract, which as an upcoming artist, I don't know much about it, but then I just chance to, have a contract with him. And in the contract, I'm supposed to renew it or, pay an amount after 10 years. So as an upcoming artist meeting you, what advice would you give to me? I mean, and then how, as an upcoming, like myself, how do I reach out to a lawyer? Because I can't pay a lawyer. So, I mean, what are some of the things that you would recommend that I do in order to, meet such people who actually help me with the contract and all that? Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. So the first question is that you have a contract and the person is asking you to pay after 10 years. Okay. The person is asking, you're paying the person for a period of 10 years or asking you to pay after 10 years.
Could we kindly get a mic for a day? We need to understand the nitty-gritty, Charlie. This is legal business. All right. So what are the details of your contracts? Yes.
I think it's lease, I would say, yeah, lease contract.
Okay.
But then before, I didn't know, because, as an upcoming artist, you are too eager to, record and all that. So
you have an actual agreement. Is that what you're referring to? You have an actual agreement.
Okay, I would say I recorded it before, I got the contract, when I read it personally.
Have you signed the contract?
I haven't.
You haven't? Great.
Yes.
All right.
So we can review
but
it
my name is on
here.
it.
No, but if you haven't signed it,
You haven't signed it. Don't worry, Boo. You haven't signed it. It's okay.
If you haven't signed it, you're not bound by it. As for having access to legal services, look within your network. I'm sure there are people right now, your mates right now, who are going to law school. They should be your friends so that when they become lawyers, you don't have to pay so much to have access to them. So that's my response to that.
Yes, and also there are online tools like Google and ChatGPT where you can put in some of these questions and they'll bring back results, and you can always go back to research and verify. But as someone who is, I wouldn't call myself well-versed in the music business because I don't toot my own horn. I have worked with a lot of artists, and what I'll tell you is that if you ever have to sign a deal that includes something for 10 years, don't do it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever a good idea. Whatever contracts you're going to make as an upcoming artist shouldn't even be album deals. I think you should lean more towards publishing and distribution deals where you make your music, you bear the cost of making your music. Once your music is ready, you give it to their distro and then they distribute it for you and handle your publishing for you. That way you get to keep your masters and you get to enjoy your royalties and nobody is going to cheat you so that you won't be on a radio station one day crying. Anyway, that's that. Thank you so much, Crystal, for joining me. It's been an insightful conversation.
Thank you for
Let's
having
give her a round
me.
of applause. All right, you're watching us live on MX24. My name is Keely J. Brewer, and this is the AM Club Masterclass live at Legon. We're having lots of great conversations. We're going for a quick break, and when we're back, we'll be speaking to someone about money. How do you manage your money as a creative? How do you go about this creative economy when the economy is not economying enough? Stay tuned. We'll be right back. My name is Keely Jade Brewer, and this is the AM Club Masterclass, where we're diving into the creative economy and everything that concerns it. Talking to these lovely people over here at Legon. Let's give them a round of applause so they know that our room is not empty. Yes. 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 All right, so up next, I'm going to be speaking to someone about finances because last, in Yoruba, they will say, Owo ni koko. The money is the main matter. His name is Peter Asare Nyarko, and he's a certified financial coach and executive director at the Center for Financial Literacy Education Africa. So anything you need to know about financial literacy, we're going to dive into today, especially for creatives. And I'd love to welcome him to the stage. Let's give him a round of applause. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Is that kaftan for me? I love to see it. So you've been dealing with money matters for how long now? How many years have you been well versed in how to spend money?
I think 8 years.
8 years. Okay, so you've had 8 years worth of experience, close to a decade in managing money.
Yes.
Let's talk about how creatives can really get bang for their buck, okay? We're going to be talking about their creative finance, how to save, invest, and grow. So how would you say creatives can build a savings plan from their monthly income, especially when income fluctuates? Some months you get a good gig, other months nobody's smiling with you. How do you balance that lifestyle?
Great. So first of all, let's give it up to the organizers of this event, MX24. Looking at how they arrange the program from leadership, branding, networking, because for you to make money, you should be able to lead yourself. Mm-hmm. And after leading yourself, you need to package yourself. That's where branding comes in. Mm. And then you need the connections, you need a network to be able to make money. And so they have given you all the requirements to go out there and make money. Mm. Now that the money is coming, how do you manage the money? And as creative, one thing I tell most people who are into this industry is that your money it's not consistent. Mm-hmm. And so there are some facts about creatives and their finances. One, their money is not consistent because they also...
I'm adjusting myself because this one is touching me, yes.
Two, because their money is not consistent, they also don't save consistently. They also forget about or delay investing. And so these are some of the challenges with creatives. But then for you to be able to manage your money well and be able to save, there are some basic principles you need to know. And I tell people, the more you manage your money well, you will have enough money to save. And so the first thing you need to do is to understand where all your money is coming from. And so understand the gigs that you get every month. And so you should be able to track all your gigs and know how much is coming in. How much is coming in. Because if you don't track where your money is coming from and how much you get from gig, it will be difficult for you to even budget and save. The reason why you need to track your money is that you will be able to know the consistency and you will be able to strike an average of the money that comes in. For example, myself, I'm also in this industry. And so one time I can get a contract where I'll be making, let's say, 10,000. And then I'll wait for 3 to 4 months before I get another contract. And so if your situation is like mine, you need to track the consistency of where your money is coming from and strike an average. And so, and then compare that to your expenditure for the month. And so if your expenditure for the month is, let's say, 5,000, and you are getting 10,000 every 3 months, then you should ask yourself some critical questions. And how do I meet all my monthly expenses? And so it is important for you to first track where your money is coming from and how much it's coming to you. And two, you need to budget for your expenditure. So once you have tracked your income, you need to know how much you spend every month, because that's what you are going to use to allocate your income. And with budgeting, I tell people for creative, you can use the 50, 30, 20% rule. Yes. So here, make sure 50% is going to your needs. Because for a creative to be able to do the things that you do, you need to meet your basic necessities so you can do the things that you do. That's where you need to know your needs and your wants. And so your needs are the basic things of life. The things you need so your life can move on. So as a creative, what do I need so my life will move on? I need to eat. I need energy. And so you budget for your food. I need transport to be able to get to the things that I do. If someone gives you a contract and you need to go to the person, you need some money to be able to get there. And so you budget for your transport. If you own your own car, you budget for fuel. You should also budget rent, because you need a place to put your head so you can have that peace of mind to be able to do the things you do. When Trig was speaking, he made mention of when you have a better place to sleep, it gives you that energy to do the things that you do. And so one thing I tell creative is that you should be able to eliminate frustration. Because when your head is not at the right place, there's no way you can give out your maximum output. And so it's better for you to take care of your rent. It's better for you to take care of your utilities. And so list all your basic needs. And know that this is how much I spend every month. This is how much I spend every month. So once you know how much, now what you need to do is 30% should also go towards your wants. Because as a creative, you are also looking at growing your venture. Everything that you do, you want to take it to the next level. But then you might not have the money now. The money that is coming in is not enough for you to grow it from the start. There's a need for you to save towards that. And this is where the 50% goes into your wants. Probably you want to own your own studio. You want to buy some equipment. Venture. This is where the 30%, you save the 30% towards that venture. And so now let's take an amount and apply the 50, 30, 20% rule.
Okay, so let's attempt a standard influencer deal from a standard company in Ghana would probably be, let's say, for 2 or 3 posts, they might offer you 1,500 cedis. So let's use 1,500 cedis as a benchmark.
Great.
Or should we round it up to 2K?
Great.
Yes.
2K.
Yes.
So a month you are earning 2K. And so the 2K, 50% should go into your needs. So that's 1,000 cedis, right? 30% should go into your wants. That's 600 cedis. And 20% should go into savings. That's 400 cedis. And so here, as a creative, all your basic necessities should be centered around the 1,000 cedis. And so you need to rent a place that will cost, say, 500 cedis. So you have 500. And so that 500 should be spent on food, transport, and everything that you need for your life to move on.
But do you think that is possible, though, looking at the value of money and the way things...
So my next question is, if you are earning 2,000 a month and you cannot meet your basic necessities, then you should do something about it. And so if a month you are getting 1 gig, then you need to put in effort to get at least 3 gig. And so if 1 gig is giving you 2,000, 3 gig will give you 6,000. And so there's a lot of work that you need to put in. And it takes a lot of courage to make money. And what I've realized is for most creative in Ghana, we are a bit relaxed. We don't put in the work, we don't talk to people, we don't close the deal, we don't even network with people. People do business with people they know. And so when people know you for your skill sets, when people know you for your ideas and what you bring to the table, it will be easy for you to get a lot of gig. So work on increasing your income if you cannot meet your basic necessities. You need to put in a lot of effort. And I tell people there's a time a man must learn and there's a time a man must work. And so if you are earning if 1,000 is going to NIS and realize 1,000 is not working for you, then there is something that you don't know. And so you should be able to learn and increase that income. The 600 will go into your wants. That means everything that you want to achieve every month, save 600 towards that. And then the 400 will go into savings and emergencies. You also need to be supporting other people. Your mom can call you for some amount of money. Your colleagues can be asking for money. So save that 400. In case of an emergency, you can fall on that 400 to help yourself out. And so basically, for you to manage your money well and be able to save, one, track your income and know how much you are making every month. Two, budget for your expenditure. And we are using the budgeting rule of 50, 30, 20%. And then also, because of the economy and the amount of money that we make, we should also focus on our income so we can always meet our basic necessities.
Nice one. But I'm curious, how do you go the extra mile to make sure you save and you manage your money properly without being stingy towards yourself? Yes. Because when it comes to money management, there are people who are frugal to a fault. They are too frugal, and then it actually diminishes their standard of living, and it kind of blocks them from soaring and elevating and doing bigger things because they've blocked themselves in this financial bracket.
Yes. So, but it's all falls down on budgeting. And budgeting is not a restriction, but rather how you can control your finances. And so, with budgeting, you need to budget for you need to budget for every expenditure that you want to make. And so, and 2,000 and your income or your expenditure is also 2,000. That means there's no way you can save money. And so when you are budgeting for savings, the moment you decide to make allocation for savings, and so there's always an opportunity cost. If I decide to spend this amount of money on food, that means I am foregoing savings. I am foregoing another thing that I could have used the money for. And so there's always an opportunity cost. So tell yourself and decide which one you want to forego. If you have to forego savings now, so that you can have more energy and put in more effort to be able to earn more money, so you can save, forego savings. But then if you need to save so you can achieve the things that you want to achieve, that you want to get, the business that you want to start, then the opportunity cost will be cut down on the food, on the entertainment, on the transport. And so there's always an opportunity cost, and it takes discipline to do that. If you don't discipline yourself and look at so most I tell people, when you have money and you are spending the money, there's two things: the immediate benefit or the future benefit. And always look at the two. Should I focus on the immediate benefit, or I should look at the future benefit? If the immediate benefit will give you what you are looking for, then focus on the immediate benefit. But then if the future benefit is what will help you, then forgo the immediate benefits and save the money towards the future benefits. Yeah.
At the same time, managing money is not easy when you are working within an economy. So would you say creatives can create a system around their money that helps them? Because we were discussing right now getting 2K a month and then stacking up to get more and more and more. But in the case where, let's say, that 2K comes and then for the next 6 months is dry, how can they manage?
Right. So the Bible says that invest in 7 ventures. And it goes ahead when you read Ecclesiastes chapter 11 verse 2. Invest in 8. And so as creative, mostly we have a main source. So your talent, the things that you do now is your main source. You should be able to leverage your first source of income to create additional source of income. As I tell people, the average millionaire earns 7 sources of income. So they have 7 sources of income. This is done by Harvard Business School, the average millionaire. And so, if your main source is bringing in money, you should be able to leverage that main source to create other streams of income. This is where you diversify. So let's say every month I earn 2,000 cedis. That is my main source. But then I want to be financially successful. And so what I need to do is to leverage that 2,000 to create other streams of income. And so I will be intentional that every month I will save, let's say 10%, 20%, depending on my ability. Personal financial management is personal. And so if someone is saving 30%, 50%, don't compare yourself to that person. Look at your situation. If yours is to do 10% every month, stick to that 10% and give yourself some time. And so have a goal. Now I want to create another stream of income, leveraging my creative venture. And so every month, 10% of my income for 3 years, and then use that for another stream of income. You can go into investments. You can even reinvest that money into the venture, and you will be able to earn more money.
So speaking on investments, you always go to this, you ask, should I do screaming at you, invest where?
Yes.
How can someone throw their little coins to make sure that it comes back as more coins? Where can creatives actually put their money to make sure it grows back?
Yes. You see, the issue is not about where. With investment, the issue is not about where should I put the money. But then, how do you understand investment? And so before you even put your hard-earned money to risks, you need to first understand investment before you go into it. How do you want your investment to earn you money? What is your risk appetite? How long do you want to do investment? You need to understand all this before you put the money to work. And so today, let's break investment down. And so, for any investment, there are 2 ways your investment can earn you money. One is income, one is growth. And so income, if I invest my money at the end of the maturity period, I'm looking at getting my principal back and getting some interest on the money. When I'm looking at growth, I am putting my money to risks so that that money will grow over time. And so if you come to me and you want to do an investment, I'll ask you, are you looking for income or growth? If you tell me you are looking for income, then I can recommend some investment that will give you income.
So if we're looking at income, what are some of the investments you can recommend?
So for income, you can buy T-bill. T-bill, at the end of the maturity period, you get your principal, you get your interest on that money. And you can roll over the money. You can do mutual funds. You can buy government bond. At the end of the maturity period, you get your principal and you get interest on it. You can buy shares. With shares, you get dividends as an income on that shares. You can go into buying and selling. I tell people that's income generating businesses, IGB. And so I have 5,000 Ghana cedis. I can decide to go to Makola, get some product that you need. It can be watches, it can be clothing. The moment you sell that amount, you get capital gains. It comes in a form of income. You get your capital back, you get some gains on that capital. You can decide to reinvest. You will not get the money back instantly, but then your investment or your business will grow over time. You can decide to go into real estate, get a land, leave the land will appreciate over time. You can decide to go into rental properties. So I know people who will get a place, build containers and put on the place and then rent them out. They are growing their investment over time. And so you need to look for what you can buy crypto, leave it for it to grow over time. And so when you are looking for growth, you go for investment that will grow your money over time. When you are looking for income, you go for investment that will give you income. And 2, your risk appetite. When you are going to do investment, look at your risks as well. There are someone, when they lose 500 cedis, they will cry the entire day. And so when you are someone who cannot afford to lose money, then go for low risk investments. What you are doing is that you are conserving your capital. But then at the end of the maturity period, you get some interest on it, but it's something small. If you are someone who can decide to risk your money, going for the high risk investments. Because with investments, the higher the returns, the higher the risks. And the lower the returns, the lower the risks. And so, if you want huge amount of returns, be ready to lose that money. And then, also asset allocation and asset classes. And so you can decide where you want to invest your money. And so mostly, I tell people when you go to the bank's investment house and you're going to do investment, ask them where are you investing your money. Some are investing in real estate, some are investing in agribusiness, some are investing in telecommunication business. And so when something happens in telecommunication business, you can say, this is going to affect my investment. And so it will help you diversify your investment. But always remember, don't depend on one source. Even the Bible is saying we should do 7 or 8. Yes.
Don't depend on one source, diversify. You are going for higher risk, buy strong BP medication because you just might lose everything to do more things at once. But what are the mistakes you see a lot of young people make when it comes to money? Young people who just started making money and are feeling fresh. What are some common mistakes you see them making, and how can we avoid them to ensure that we grow financially?
Sure. I think the first one I'll talk about is the fact that we spend money to impress people instead of investing it. And so, young creative, you don't need to impress anyone. You are working on something to make you more money in the future. Spend money, don't spend money to look rich. Spend money to grow rich. And you might not have a car, you might not have the nice shoes, the nicest watches. Be okay with it because you are working on something that will give you higher returns in the future. When I look back about 8 years ago, where I started and Charlie, that there is grace for everyone and there is hope for everyone. Because you get to a point where a startup to where money is meaning. Yes. And so you need receiving consistent cash flow. So build passive income. So I tell people once you build passive income, you can decide to use your gig money to go and chill because you have a system that keeps pumping in the money. I write, so I have my books on Amazon and I get royalties. And so if you see me using money to do something, even when I'm sleeping, I am making, you see. And so don't look at the now. Look towards the actual independence and financial freedom. It's not about, I have this, my friend is doing this, or I also want to do this. Focus in your craft. The more you invest in your craft, the more money you will make. I remember I sent a proposal to somewhere, and then the first question they asked, what is your track record? What is your track record? And they were not ready to invest in me because at that point, I was just starting. And so what I did was, any money I was reinvesting into my idea. And so I self-funded my idea to a point where now when people are coming to me, they are ready to invest in that idea. And so one mistake, don't spend money to impress anyone. Any money you are spending, make sure you are investing that money. It can be investing in yourself. Investing in your own self. Build competence in your area of expertise. In your craft. Invest in your craft. Invest in equipment to take your craft to the next level. 2, we should separate our personal finance from our business finance. And so what you need to do to be able to do that is to try to pay yourself every month. a dedicated amount. And so if your gig is giving you 5,000, you can decide that every month I'll pay myself 2,000, and the 3,000 will go into your craft. Most people, because they don't do that, once they get the money, they think this is my money, and they blow all the money. And so you should decide to pay yourself a specific amount every month. That will help you the remaining amount. And I think the last thing I'll add is we should be intentional about reinvesting in our craft. It's a form of savings. You don't necessarily need to go and put your money in the bank. Putting the money into your craft, into your business, you're also saving, because that will give you higher potentials in earning more in the future.
Lovely. Oh my gosh, such an insightful conversation. Yes. Let's segue over to our audience. Do you have any questions in the audience for Mr. Peter? I see a gentleman in the back of the purple shirt. Could you kindly hand him a microphone? Thank you. Could you kindly assist him with the microphone?
Hello?
Yes. There we go.
All right, thank you very much for this opportunity. I came here purposely because of this session, the savings and then the investment section. I'm an accountant myself, and what I want to ask is, now we see that the world is evolving, and financial technology has taken us far. So how do we use fintech to streamline our investment and savings? Thank you.
It's a great question.
Yes, that's really a great question. And so there are so many fintech apps that you can use to manage your finances. It can help you save, it can help you budget. The first one I'll talk about is, I don't know if you know of Achieve app. So this is an app where you can save money, set financial goals, invest in the foreign markets. And so they have Eurobond and all those things that you can get right on your phone. For savings, Nasika, with just your mobile, your WhatsApp, you can set a savings goal and save every month with just your mobile phone. All you need to do is to set the goal and tell Nasika that every month, take 50 cedis from my Momo account. There's Mint. Mint will help you budget your expenses. So, and then it will remind you that, my boss, you said you are going to use this amount to achieve this goal. And so once you are going above that, Mint will remind you that you need to stick to your budget. A YNB app will also help you guide all your days, track your income. And so these are some of the apps we can take advantage of. Yes, you can download Mint, you can download the Achieve app, Nasika, YNB app. They are all available on the Play Store. They are also available on Apple Store. You can download them and take advantage of them.
Yeah, I'll definitely be downloading those apps. Next, by this time, I'm going to be a billionaire. Is there anyone else in the audience that has a question? Okay, we have one more question from the front. Anyone in the back with a question? Okay, so this would be our last question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So my question is, as creatives, do you have to play for free? If yes, why? Thank you.
Great. I think, yes. Because what you are doing is, one, you are introducing yourself to people and you are building networks. So I started volunteering right from senior high school. I was still volunteering because I was so I'm an accountant. And so I wanted to connect to people in my industry. And so when KPMG is doing an event, I'll go and volunteer, try to get people there. who look like where I want to be. And so what you are doing is you are introducing yourself to them. I did a lot of free financial coaching. And then over time, once the people are getting value, they'll come back to you and tell you, yes, this thing that you shared with me, it worked with me, so I want to do this. Then you sit down with the person, for this one you have to pay something, and then I will present my fees to the person. And I retain almost 70% of all the people that I initially did a free engagement for. And so one business plan I'm using is that if I want to engage someone, I will do a 45-minute free engagement with you. And once it worked for you, automatically they will come back to me. And so it's important for you to, yes, do some free things, but then know when you need to monetize it. People will take advantage of that. And so for me, I tell you, yes, my first engagement, I'll do it free. But then if you are coming for the second time, if you are the one coming to me, then be ready to pay for it. Yes. The first time, I'll present it at no cost. But then when you are coming for another one, I'll make sure I present my fees to you. So the free things, you do the free things to build connections, to connect with others, to create, to let people know what you have. And then through that, you can market your services to them.
True, and heavy on the not being taken advantage of. I think that aspect, sometimes the water gets a bit muddied because people are torn between service and then getting ahead, and they don't know which way to go about it. But I'll just say, as Crystal said when she was on stage, you need to use your discernment and apply your discernment. When your spirit tells you that this one, charge them the 5 billion, charge them 5 billion, they'll pay. Don't be afraid to call big money. People will pay if you're actually offering value in the long run. So it's all 50-50, and I wish you the very best in your career there. You're going to do amazing things. You've been all on MX24 today, and I love it for you. No more questions. One more question, all right. There's one more question in the back. Lady in the yellow shirt. And that will be our last question for the session, and we'll wrap up nicely. Yes.
Hello.
Hi, yes.
Thank you. So my question is that it's in regards to the investment thing. We realize that most of our, excuse me if I use this word, but most of random people tend to not focus their attention on investments because they feel like, why should I invest? And personally, I feel like some of the reasons why they don't feel like they should invest is because if we look at the kind of economy that we live in, people get to do works that at the end of the day, the salary or the wages or anything they take as a means of payment is like to just regulate their normal living basis. So they tend to get very little at the end of the day to even be able to think about considering investments or even savings, some of them. So my question is that, how do we manage to build a passive income with the small that we get? Because we tend to, even if we try to consider the little that we have to invest, we tend to consider the income investments more than the growth investment. So my question is, how little that we get at the end of every salary that comes into us every month into passive investments and to be able to grow ourselves.
How do you turn your little drops of water into a mighty ocean?
Great. You start small. So you start small. And so you need to have a goal in mind. This is what I want to do. For example, I want to go into real estate, but I don't have the money now to go. And so it's a goal. So I need to start from somewhere. Now I'm doing savings and investment to be able to, one, conserve my capital. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to put together an amount. That's what savings and the money market investment will do for you. Two, you have to get some interest on that money. And so set a goal for yourself that in 5 years' time, I want to go into the huge investment. I want to build a passive income. I want to start a business. I will need about 50,000 Ghana cedis to do that. But then now I cannot raise that 50,000. So I need to start from somewhere. I need to start saving. The only reason you must save money is so that you can invest. And there's a time a man works for money. And there's a time money works for a man. And so now, effort. Raise some money, save and invest it in the money market. Try and conserve your capital. Get some small interest on that capital. And then over time, you'll be able to build some amount to go into the passive income that you are dreaming about. And so start small, remain consistent, and then you'll be able to raise money to start whatever that.
Nice one. Are we good with that? I'm going to also apply that advice to my life. But thank you so much for coming. Thank you for tuning in and being here with us the entire time. It's been an amazing set of conversations. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. And thank you to you, Peter, for joining us. I would like to call Miriam back on stage. Miriam Uduak Mensah, over to you, madam. Your microphone is here. Thank you so much for having me. Okay, Mimi's kidnapping me.
So, I'm your guest for today.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
I was just telling them at the back that you have the most, what did I say? Jargons and words in the world.
Read. Thank you.
Read. Yeah, you. Thank you so much. And to you all, thank you all so much for coming through. This is amazing, but we have more for you, okay? So before you leave, which we're so grateful for that you showed up, please sign up for the AM Club Masterclass because we have loads of conversations that are coming. The conversation was life-changing, wasn't it? You have learned a lot of things. Where's my Ade? Ade is about to be the biggest thing that hit Africa. Yeah. So yes, this and more we have for you. So please do make sure to sign up. Also, we're not only signing you up for the masterclass, we are giving you some amazing gifts. We have freebies for you. And me, when I was in the university, when I hear freebie, my whole semester has changed.
Item 13.
Item 13 is life, okay? So I know it's important for us to jump on some of these things, but most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, the masterclass is here to change lives, to make us be the best version of ourselves. I keep saying this, that on the AM Club, we are learning and growing together. So we're not going to be doing this in the studio alone. We're coming to you. We're going everywhere to touch lives. So do not miss out on it. Just make sure to sign up for the AM Club Masterclass. My name is Miriam Uduak Mensah. Anything else, Kaylee?
My name's Kaylee Jade Brewer. I've been here with you guys. It's been amazing. And I'd like to invite everyone else here for a group photo. Let's get some nice little pictures and snaps together for our Instagram, right?
I've seen your Instagram crying already.
Small, one day at a time.
Oh, Kaylee, thank you so much to everyone who came through. To the entire team, we really appreciate you for coming. Have a good one. Bye.